After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer basketball! Hello everyone, and welcome to OKKO Anime Club. It's time for the second season of Kuroko no Basket, the basketball which Kuroko plays. Hello everyone! I've literally just got done watching the last episode like 5 minutes ago, so I'm still all over the goddamn place.
Everybody knows because there's been a hashtag which is finish the Chinese cartoons, Cam.
I need to see this. I'll go on Twitter later and just favourite.
It's not on Twitter.
Them.
It's just in the chat.
Oh, in the chat. Okay, well I'll start it trending on Twitter.
Yeah, take it to Twitter.
Anyway, as usual, joined by my lovely co-hosts, the bodacious Backashift.
Hello.
And the bloody amazing Bizarre Jelly 5.
And you got her name wrong. She's Bejezzers, remember?
Bejezzers!
And once again, following the trend from last week, we are joined by the... I need a good word that begins with H to describe you.
Happy.
The hacksaws, HappiLeeErin.
Yep, that's me.
Nailed it.
As usual, because who else? Really, who else are we gonna have? Apart from maybe number 2 that we're starting on the stream.
As Alan's been calling me Kuro Queen, which I love so much.
We should have just changed your name at the bottom to Kuro Queen.
Oh no, damn it, I forgot to make the extra layout that said Bejezzers on it.
Oh man.
I'm so
and Abby's
happy.
like, yes, I am happy about this.
So we're just basically gonna get stuck in straight following on from last week, because if you didn't catch us last week, we watched the first season then, and I have had an absolute arse of a time trying to get the second season watched in 1 week, but I managed it.
I don't think we'll be doing 25 episodes in a week again somehow.
Son, I did 25 episodes in a day last Sunday, and it was amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah, basically I would have been on time had it not been for Crunchyroll shitting itself about halfway through, and then me needing to take an emergency trip to the shops. It was like, I need to finish Kuroko, but I need to also eat.
What? You don't need to eat when there's Kuroko to be watched.
Yeah, that's true.
I should have just eaten the telly after I was done.
Come on.
I felt like it. I was so like, oh! I'm physically shaking with how
I
wild
think
this
the
has been.
hype towards the end of the series is tangible.
Yeah.
So you could have potentially eaten that.
I did find myself munching
eat your
on
hype.
air. So
hashtag eat your hype.
the hype has just overtaken my brain at the moment. I am in the hype zone, as it were. So let's meteor jam ourselves into the rest of this stream, and we'll just follow the normal process, shall we? So let's do intro thoughts. Ebby, begin.
Hello. I want to read out the chat first, though, because chat were amazing while you weren't here, Cam. And you missed out the season.
It's because I wasn't here. They're all quiet when I'm around.
So, I'm just reading this out because YouTube takes comments away, so we'll never be able to see this ever again. Yep. So, Haru makes a cameo and becomes best friends with Teppei. I'm sorry for spoiling. Kuroko gets abducted by aliens. Kagami gets eaten by a squid. Kuroko is an alien and returns to his home planet. Kagami gets killed in a Japanese lunchtime rush, of course.
It's Japanese lunchtime rush.
Kisei discovers the Death Note and murders Kagami. Kuroko then has to team up with Almine to go back in time with the help of a phone microwave in order to change it. Everyone dies in the Japanese lunchtime rush. Hashtag no survivors.
I love you
Almine
guys.
explodes into a giant blue water bottle.
Water bottle?
I don't know what that means.
It's amazing.
And in an unexpected turn of events, Hugo confesses to Teppei and reverts back to his blonde hair. Rico is the third wheel. Hilarity ensues. The lunchtime rush leaves less survivors than the Urabuchi Wild Ride. Space Jam crossover, of course.
Oh man.
And then the jam that Kuroko plays. Kisei wins the volleyball match and then it's over.
Oh man, imagine just
forgot
Kuroko
I
about
did.
breakfast and it's just the jam that Kuroko eats. And just him running out of the house with bread in his mouth.
Like, the guys from HappiLeeErin make a cameo. The guys from HappiLeeErin make a cameo, only to realise they stand no chance against Kisei in his Death Note. Kisei gives up on basketball and goes back to being a hot model playing soccer. Seren camps out at the Space Jam for a Space Jam sequel when people start rushing to get good seats. Kagami yells, "This is Japanese Space Jam Rush."
This is Japanese Space Jam Rush.
Space Jam Rush.
And this goes on for a real long time. So,
I think this is a nice point to segue into saying the English in this show is top quality.
Yeah, wasn't that
it's
a
stellar.
nice way to start off season 2?
So my thoughts on Kuroko season 2. I liked it quite a bit. I liked it more than season 1. Because Teppei exists more in this series, and that's fine by me. I don't know that I can say anything else without just saying what I said last week, but it's such a good show. I loved it. It was real good. Enjoyed it more than season 1, so here you go.
That was an easy one.
Alan?
I'm going to keep this short and sweet as well, in that I was incredibly excited when season 2 was announced and first started and everything, but I wasn't prepared for just how much better it ended up being. And I'm just going to leave it at that for now, because I don't want to spoil anything for what we'll go into when we actually go into specifics later on. Because a lot of it that I'd be saying in this introduction is just same as last week's stuff.
Yeah. Mine is basically the same, possibly more amplified simply by the fact that my feelings to the first season were kind of downplayed because of how good everyone was saying the show was. I have a feeling that most of the people who've told me, "Oh, Cam, you gotta watch Kuroko, it's so good," have been people who have watched both seasons and are like going into the third. So of course I went into the first season with the same expectations as the second season, or I went into the first season expecting the second season, and was the tiniest, littlest, whittlest bit disappointed, but still really enjoyed it. And then I went into the second season with that slight disappointment and kind of not expecting anything else, and then was completely blown away by how much better it was. To the point where I was just like, doesn't suffer from the same kind of... I felt that the first season had a bit of a slow build-up and then became exceptional towards the end. Season 2 just goes straight in, and that was fantastic, and just kept that same momentum throughout the entire thing. A couple of ups and downs. There were some things that I was worried about towards the end, but it just... Any dates that I had, it blown out the water by the end of the season. We'll go into more detail on that later on, and I will allow Erin to finish us off.
I'll keep mine short and sweet, like everybody else. Going into season 2, I had read the manga, and there'd been a great deal of what was going to be adapted in season 2 already out. And a few of my favorite matches of all time were in season 2. So going into it, knowing that they were going to be in season 2, I was just like shaking. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I get to see these animated finally. It's been like 3 years. And it did not disappoint. Everything that was good about season 1 was amplified in season 2. It had much more excitement. The animation was even better. The character development and the relationships grew even more. And it was absolutely fantastic, and I loved it. Loved it so much.
And it also had a Hot Springs episode. I forgot about that.
Hot Springs episode, amazing Hot Springs episode.
Had a little bit of something for everyone. I felt.
Yeah,
so good. It was perfect. It was like what a Hot Springs episode should be for a sports anime. It was amazing. Yeah, I loved it. We'll get into more. We'll get into more for sure. But I was super hyped for season 2, and by the end of it, I wasn't disappointed.
There is one thing that I will say, and that is there wasn't a Kaijo match, so it's automatically 0 out of 10.
I know. Yeah. That is actually we'll get into that, but that is the one thing where it's like there was a distinct lack of Kisei this season.
Even though there were
I'm wearing this to support him.
Yes.
I missed him, even though he's there, and I knew going into season 2 that he wasn't going to be in very much if they adapted it how I thought they were going to adapt it, which they did. But it's still sad when one of your favorite characters is
a surprise, because in the opening there's just as much Kisei as anyone else.
Yeah.
And you just don't see him play basketball at all.
It seems like they're kind of I'd be very surprised and disappointed if there wasn't a Kaijo match in the third season. So considering what was said at the end, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you imagine if there just wasn't one?
Kaijo just disbands.
Kisei actually just disappears.
They get knocked out by some random team.
It's like, okay.
They get knocked out by the thugs from the first season.
Nah, man, they get knocked out by Papa.
The return of Papa. Oh man. Right.
So what was the first match?
The
Should we
first
go
match
by
was
again?
HappiLeeErin versus.
Nah. The first match was a big cock tease. So it was just like, oh, look, it's Murasaki Bara. Oh, they're gonna.
Yeah, when they do all the.
It was streetball was the first one.
Oh,
and then he puts the food on top of the ball.
When they first showed the Mirage shot, and I was just like, that was the first point, because obviously in the first season it was quite, everything was quite downplayed, and all the special skills and stuff, they were a bit silly. But not silly to the point of, I throw the ball and it will literally phase through your hand and go into the basket.
Look at him, Ro.
Oh man.
Yeah, that like I said, I knew going into season 2 what it would be adapting and where it would be starting. Because where the manga anime season 1 ended off, they actually is a chapter where they don't find number 2 in the manga until after the end of season 1, like right before where season 2 starts. Like there's actually a chapter where number 2 is introduced. And so the chapter after that is where they do the street basketball, and I was like, oh my god, are they seriously gonna start season 2 with the worst English in like anything? And there's so much English.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
in it.
I was just
but not like a ton of basketball. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a rough.
It got to the point where I was genuinely really confused, because I just started the episode and I was doing some stuff on my computer while the opening was playing, and then I was obviously expecting Japanese to come at me. But I didn't get that, and I didn't really get English either. So I was like, what is this that I'm hearing? And then turned around and realised they were just speaking English. And I was like, I can't even, like, because I'm not looking at the screen, I can't decipher what they're actually saying.
Tiger, fancy seeing your hair. What's happening?
Put some pants on, Alex!
Oh man, but yeah, we got introduced to Himuru, which was nice, because Kagami wearing the ring, where it's something that I like, oh, he has a ring, it's just a part of his character design, so it is nice to see that there's a backstory to that, and like give us a little bit more about something with Kagami, which is nice, because it's been focused mostly on Kuroko's past and his friends, instead of bringing somebody in that's related to Kagami instead. I thought was a really nice addition.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, with Murmur, and then Murmur with his little food, snacks, and his overalls. I love that he's wearing overalls. Can I just say? His outfit choices.
Just, I don't know, I suppose it's just, what sort of clothing can you get when you're 14 stories high?
That's true. Yeah. This is true. He needs something
adjustable. He'd have to wear those, like,
adjustable.
really ridiculously printed shoes from TK Maxx. And, like, nothing else.
Lanky Spirit should cosplay as Murasaki Bara. That'd be amazing.
Oh god, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
He's so tall. Like,
he's just a giant of a man. But yeah,
I've just got this image of Lee with purple hair now, and that's amazing.
He's got the hair for it. It's long. Well, it was long enough at one point. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, go and look at the Weisschwarz UK channel, and that's the guy who we're talking about. He's literally 14 foot tall. So yeah, so that was the first sort of match that got cancelled by rain. Yeah. That was a bit annoying.
Yeah, it was definitely like cock tease. It was like very, oh, let me kind of show you this, but no, let's break it. But we did get to see that Murasaki Bara and Kiyoshi had some sort of history.
The fact that they were on the same team, that was really kind of like, whoa, okay, so you've got two people who were obviously like quite important to the storyline on the same team, which was, I was just like, oh man, that's going to be crazy.
When you first see him, you're just like, surely he can't play with his hair over his eye like that.
Oh, he's just so pretty.
But then you get the guy from what is it? Kurosaki Daiichi, who's just got his hair over his eyes and he's blowing bubble gum on the court as well.
Constantly, just like.
Surely that's
what
not
were you
allowed.
saying?
You don't do that. You don't do that when you do PE at school. So
Then again,
you
I was
don't
about
do
to
that.
say, surely that's not allowed. But when we talk about Kurosaki Daiichi, that just the "it's not allowed" thing, it would just resonate through that entire.
I have so many feelings about that match. So many feelings.
I'm
Can't wait
upset
to
already. I don't want to.
so many feelings about that.
So yeah, that was that one, and then that was pretty
I
much
wanna
the next
know.
match, wasn't it? It went straight
Just-
into
That was like-
Kurosaki Bara.
Yeah, that was a really quick. That was like 2 episodes. I think.
Oh no, it wasn't, was it? It was they played someone else first. But that,
They did start the preliminaries. They start the
they play
preliminary.
Shutoku, don't they?
They
Uh,
play they do, but they play the first match they play against is like some lesser known team. It's the guy who is really excited that Saren has a hot coach, and then he sees Rico and he's like really upset that she's not hot,
Yeah.
and then she gets really pissed off. And then so we see like Kagami's jumping skills the first time, and he jumps too high and hits the hoop with his face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the
that was
first-
proper
yeah, the first
slapstick
one.
for Kagami in that episode because he was
Yeah.
falling all over the place.
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's so funny.
I
Just
decided that I was
falling.
gonna watch some real basketball just to see if people can actually do stuff like that. So I was just watching a video of LeBron James just jumping real high, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
People literally
do that.
fly in
People
pro
actually do
basketball
that.
games, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that that's pro basketball games. People have been playing basketball for a bajillion years. These are high school kids, and they're flying around
Cam.
like bloody
They're
cherubs.
not high school kids. They're magic teenagers.
Magic teenage basketball players.
Magic teenage boys.
They're all robots.
They're Maho Shonen.
that's a different show, but I will take it.
Oh man. And it just gets more ridiculous from the outset, really, doesn't it? Like Kagami's
yeah.
insane jumps, and it just kind of like the vanishing drive, just
Yeah.
as a whole, is just like
I love how many rules it has.
I know, yeah. The rules that don't even make sense because when Kuroko first shows off the vanishing drive, it's to Momoe when nobody else is
No one
there.
else is
And then
there.
later on they're like, oh yeah, the vanishing drive only works if Kagami's around.
No. It says it's only unbeatable when Kagami's around,
Oh,
but they say
right,
it's
okay.
good enough as it is, but when Kagami's around, it's unstoppable.
Oh right, okay.
Which is why when it comes to Aomine, the only way he can stop it is by closing his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pro as well, when he was just like, oh
Like, oh, I don't
Check-
need to.
We'll get onto that match later.
or else.
Oh, right.
Quite
Yeah, I
soon,
love
actually.
watching, like, seeing Kuroko use his drive and seeing how it's imperfect in a lot of in the beginning, like
when
he
he
forgets
drops the
ball.
ball, when he does the vanishing drive and forgets the ball, he's like,
Kagami's like, "Are you serious? It's like,
it was.
we can't use this if you're gonna leave the ball behind."
I loved it when he did the vanishing drive for the first time. I was just like, oh man, this is what I was waiting for. People told me this show was ridiculous. This was the moment,
Yep,
and it just gets better and better from then on out.
just keeps getting crazier.
I wanted basketball players with superpowers, like proper superpowers.
Oh, you've come to the right
Oh
place.
yes, I'm not disappointed in one bit.
I don't know why I assumed that Kuroko was like a realistic sports show because this is not really.
No. Yeah,
That's
people
not
get
why-
Probably just
really
because you were
pissed off
expecting it to be
about
like Haikyuu.
I think
Yeah.
I was because my experience with sports shows has been free, and no one really had special powers there. And Haikyuu, no one really had
Hey,
special
no.
powers there.
How can you say that about Free, Abby? Everyone turns into animals in Free. Free is about a troop of animorphs.
Well,
Troop
when I
of
first-
animal friends.
when the way that I got like recommended Kuroko was I think it was actually you, Alan. You turned around and went, if you liked Haikyuu, you should watch Kuroko because it's just like Haikyuu only less realistic. And I was like, oh, count me in. More generic shonen
Oh, it's so
in the best way possible.
Yeah. And then after that match, I think is when they play Shutoku the
Shutoku.
second time. Their rematch.
That was cool. That was cool. I liked that match because it showed. Because even though he didn't really do very much, it did show how much Midorima's kind of changed since he got beaten the first time. And then just like when he was it in that match when he passed for the first time
Yeah, I think
and everyone
so.
was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Everyone's like, what?
I just found it brilliant because it was like, you think I've changed? I haven't changed. I'm the same, and that's good enough.
That is one thing. That's one thing that I did really like about kind of the theme of Kuroko as a whole. It's just kind of when one of the Generation of Miracles gets beaten, they kind of become humbled, and then that makes them 10 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all like kind of arseholes at first.
Yeah.
And then they get beaten, and you're like, he's alright.
Except for Kisei. Kisei was a little bit of a cocky knob, but he was alright. And then he got beaten, and then he was still alright. So,
Hey.
well, then he got beaten, then he became the best character in the show. So,
Yeah. Yeah, to see Midorima interacting with his teammates a little bit more is really fun.
yeah, that was cool. It was
Fun
nice to see a bit more interaction between them. Because they kind of acted more as a unit in that game than they did in the original one. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like any kind of Generation of Miracles match where it was just Midorima and friends. Whereas
Yeah.
now it did feel more like Shutoku.
Yeah, and it was cool because it was like the first rematch.
Yeah.
It was like, here are some more returning characters, so you sort of understand the players more going in, because it's more akin to how familiar you are with Seirin, because you've seen everyone else before already.
That was quite good as well, because you've already got that initial exposition with all the characters. It kind of just went straight in, and that was one thing that I really liked about that match. How it was obviously it was quite short, but it didn't need to be any longer than it was. They went in, the action happened, and then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, go home. And it was really nice. It was really short, really sweet, and it was great because you already knew everyone.
Yeah, that was good. And it was nice to see the competitiveness between Midorima and Kagami too.
Yeah.
To see their kind of skills battling against one another, and just watching Midorima trying his hardest and like actually in his own way really enjoying the match, whereas the last time we saw him play, he really wasn't. He was just doing it because I can throw 3-pointers from anywhere on the court. I'm the best. But like this time, it was actually like he was having fun in his own little special way.
Yeah, because then he smiled a little bit, and that was adorable. I was like,
You're like, oh, Shin-chan, Shin-chan.
it was that little, that twinkle in his eye. I was just like, yeah, you're a cool guy.
Yeah. You cool dude. This is one I really like. Midorima is one of the Generation of Miracles that we've seen so far. He's one of my least favorites, but it was for sure like this match, and also when he was helping Kagami during the training camp last season. We're just getting to see more of him made me really appreciate and enjoy his personality a lot more.
He does seem to have. He's a bit like Kuroko, I suppose, in the sense that he's kind of got a bit of a lack of presence, where you only really notice Midorima when he's doing something. Whereas everyone else have kind of got exploded characters, as it were. So you've got like Kisei, who's like the overly nice guy, he's the playboy, and then you've got Aimine, who's like really overly cocky, and then you've got his name's so long that I've forgotten it.
Murasaki
Murasaki Bara, that's it.
Murasaki
Murasaki Bara is just a petulant child.
Yes.
And then
and he's really big, so you can't not notice him anyway.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, but yeah, so like I think because of that, because Midorima's kind of the more almost straight-laced one, as it were, he does kind of get obscured by the other Generation of Miracles players. So I think that match was definitely very good at just making me go, yeah, he's a cool guy after all.
Yeah.
Even if
really
you are a bit of a knob and nobody likes you. At least on your team.
Yeah.
I did like that one.
Taco likes him. Taco likes him.
Wait, he says he
Everyone else
doesn't,
wants
but he obviously does. He's like, well, he's a bit weird. He's a nerd.
He's weirdo. Him and his horoscopes.
I think Midorima's kind of like adorable in his own way.
Yeah.
He's just like every time you see
yeah.
him, he's just there with like a thing in his hand. Just
The
like,
last one in the last episode,
a
he's there
brush
with
thing,
his little
that's really
Tokyo
cute.
Tower. I was like, oh, he's got a little Tokyo Tower.
This huge like raccoon that one episode.
Oh yeah.
And
I also
that
feel-
one time though when he picked the scissors as his lucky item.
Yeah.
The scissors were his lucky
Yeah.
item, and then Kagami nearly got stabbed in the face. So
Oh my god, those
it's like when his lucky item turned out to be a pair of scissors, I was like, they're going to be used for something.
Oh yeah, those. Oh my god, those scissors. I don't think when Fujimaki made the series and put those in there, I don't think he understood the journey that was going to start in the fandom with those. Because it was like the first time that we're really seeing, I mean, we'll get into it, but like it's the first time we really see Akashi.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he had the scissors from then on, every piece of fan art, every fan fiction, everything, Akashi had scissors. It was like Akashi loves scissors. Akashi and his scissors. He's never seen without them. And like any joke is like Akashi and his scissors, and it's like they weren't even his. He just used them.
They
Like,
were
why are you?
Dora's.
I don't understand. Just give
maybe-
this huge thing.
Maybe Akashi is actually Ryuko's dad from Kill la Kill.
Maybe.
Oh my god, it's all
Well,
coming together.
Is it-
yeah, but
oh,
yeah.
what's Murasaki Bara's
That was-
team? What were they called?
Yosen.
Josen. Well, their coach is
Josen.
basically
Or-
Satsuki, so you know it works.
Yeah, that's true.
Murasaki Bara.
Murasaki Bara.
Murasaki blah blah.
Murasaki blah blah blah.
So,
Whenever I talk about him, I'm going to refer to him as Purple Guy.
purple guy,
Purple dude.
purple man.
Apologies in advance. Talking about him really quickly, though, I want to know how big his scale figure is, because I don't feel like that would fit anywhere in my room. 'Cause I think
It's
I feel
24
like it's-
centimeters.
That's so big!
It's pretty big.
It's
Oh
like
my God.
10 inches or something ridiculous.
He's 6'10". That's so strange.
So after the
I'm just looking at his profile on Wikipedia. and I'm
he's,
like,
he's not as tall as the Big Show then.
oh, it's Murasaki Bara. Sorry, it's crowbar that in there. So is it the Kurosaki Ichiban?
Ichiban.
Ichiban. Ichiban.
Yeah, it goes from Shutoku into, we get the flashback with
Oh yeah,
Hyuga
yeah.
telling Kagami and Kuroko about Kyoshi. Because at the end of Shutoku, we see Kyoshi in a lot of pain with his knee in the locker room. We get that moment.
Yeah, when
And
he's
then
all
it goes
like,
into the flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like screaming. He's like, "No, Hyuga, you can't tell anybody," or whatever that happens. So yeah, then we get that flashback with what happened
It's
with
Daiichi,
Teppei,
isn't it?
and then you slowly realize how amazing of a character Teppei is, and just instantly fall in love.
Teppei was just it was Teppei amazing.
Teppei amazing.
He's so good. Just, I really feel like the entire season was kind of about him. Really, it was really all about him, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because just that was what I gave most of a crap about.
He was very much the driving force behind everyone's, like, bottom of the 9 motivation.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, I feel like there were points where they made it blatantly clear that if Teppei wasn't in the picture, they would have given up.
Mhm.
Because,
Well,
like...
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you could continue.
Oh no, I was gonna, because like there are moments in almost every single match where Kiyoshi can't do anything anymore, like he's in too much
Yeah.
pain, and so he has to get taken out for a play or for a quarter or something like that. And so there's he becomes a lot more of a driving force than when you first meet him in season 1. You're just like, oh sweet, another member of Saren, it's gonna be fun, I love Saren. And then you don't realize how much of an impact and how he kind of like blindsides you how much development he gets and how fantastic of a character he is, because he's not one of the Generation of Miracles. He's not like one of the starting members of Saren that we originally saw. Like he didn't start at the beginning of the series, and then for him to come in, it was just like really great to see. I just love him so much, and it really caught me off guard how much I ended up loving him.
I feel like him as a character as a whole really kind of drove home the whole kind of connection between being teammates and being friends, because he basically exemplified that by saying, look, I could get surgery on my knees and then get the rehabilitation and I'd be able to play basketball for the rest of my life and it would be fine, but I would rather risk that, jeopardize that, not get the surgery, just have the rehab so I can play with you guys again, because you're my friends, and right now that's what's most important to me. And it was just like, I feel like that's really drove home the importance of your teammates, but it's also important that you're friends as well and you have that connection. And that was what, and that's kind of very typical, you're friends and that's what's important, which makes this kind of anime the way it is.
And
Yeah,
he was the
of
king of yaoi hands.
He was the king of yaoi
Oh
hands.
my god, yeah.
Very closely followed by that one shot of Murasaki Bara in like the second episode, where his hand is like as big as Kuroko's head. It's like,
Imagine how much picker mix he could grab with that thing.
maybe that's why all he eats is sweets, because he can get them for like nothing. He just scoops them up. Oh man.
Yeah, Kiyoshi is wonderful. And seeing the background with Kurosaki Daichi and Hanamiya. Hanamiya is one of my, like, we can get into this more, but he's one of my favorite villains in most of anime. He's like such a dick, but
Hanamiya.
he's such a great character. You're just like, I hate you so much, but you're great at the same time. And so seeing that background, like what he did to Kiyoshi, and also the fact that they're both uncrowned generals, was really cool. Uncrowned kings. I can't remember what they call it in the anime. They call it different.
Kings, yeah.
Kings. Okay, they're like crownless generals in the manga or something. Like they're a little bit different. I know there's something generals.
Generals wear crowns.
I know. It was like, makes more sense for them to be kings in the anime.
They should have just been like the generation of feasibles.
This could happen.
They could actually happen.
Is the right of postponement really a thing that could happen? That I can change my mind in the middle of doing something in a split second.
It sort of requires like being able to slow down time
A little bit,
but-
yeah.
The right of postponement.
That was one thing that is just amazing about this series as a whole as well. Like, you get all the main things that have names. Like you've got the Ignite Pass. You've got the Vanishing Drive. You've got the Phantom Shot. You've got Meteor Jam. All these crazy like attacks that have attack names and stuff. But then even the most mundane things have names as well, like Vice Grip.
Yeah.
And then the right of
literally
postponement.
grabbing the ball.
It's like, this guy, he can change his mind. Yeah, he can basically decide what he's doing while he's doing it, which is quite cool. It's called the right of postponement. That's fucking amazing.
Yup.
Yeah. It all just adds to the hype.
Exactly. It's like, he's using the vice grip. He's literally catching a ball. It's the vice grip.
But it's just like now, IRL, every time you pick up something with one hand, it'd just be like, Vice Claw!
Oh, Vice Claw. That's it, Vice Claw.
Vice Claw,
Kiyoshi
yes.
Tepe, also known as the Claw.
The claw. Can we talk about the Kurosaki Daichi match?
Oh god.
No, I don't want to ever.
Just
I don't
barely.
ever want to talk about
Can
it.
I love the
Can
bit.
we?
I love the bit when the veil just kind of gets dropped, and Hanamura is just like, "Oh, I can't lose now. I made a promise. Blah blah blah. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I'm just a twat."
All
Yeah,
I can say
like-
is the only
Like, I would say that.
the only place where I've seen more incompetent refs is in professional wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. It's like got to the point
Oh
where it's
my
like
God,
literally the only thing that Kiyoshi is missing is a knife sticking out of his back. How has the ref not spotted this?
He's
but
like
also,
bleeding.
what I don't understand as well is why didn't Riko do something about it? Why didn't she turn to like the refs or the judges and be like, "Can you not see what is going on here?"
I want to point out that tennis has like 7 separate people to tell you when things are in play or not.
Yeah.
So why does basketball only get the one guy who can't see when some guy's getting beaten up on the
literally
court? I
beaten
don't
up on the court.
understand.
What else
But
was I
it
So
gonna
was,
say?
funny.
not
He's in his
noticing.
blind spot.
But
Oh,
yes, because
goody.
they do it in the ref's blind spots, obviously.
They use this guy
Yeah,
to
but
draw
then
the
they
attention.
just straight up like elbow drop him in the face, and I'm like, surely,
No!
surely.
It literally.
It's
Maybe
because
that's
he
why.
fell.
Maybe their power is they actually turn it into a pro wrestling match, and that's why the ref becomes completely inept.
I guess it's weird because some other sports have just like one ref and nothing else, like football and everything. So, and there's a lot of like,
flags who are like, oh, it's offside.
Offside.
yeah,
There's
there's just like
there's no
there's
offside
questionable
flag in-
calls, but
Yeah.
surely they'd like cotton on because they will fully be aware that the team has a reputation.
Yeah, I was gonna say they literally say
Yeah.
every
and
single
every single
game.
team gets injured. It's like surely they'd like up the security a bit and be like, oh yeah, these
I
guys
thought
probably
what
shouldn't
would've-
be allowed.
Coincidences.
What I thought would have given it away is the fact that he went on fine. He was fine, and then he came off covered in bruises. Like,
just
surely
bleeding
that's
all
not
over.
the telltale sign.
Bleeding!
He's bleeding. He's got bruises everywhere. There's a problem. Fix yourself.
Like, the
Like,
ref would
what?
look at him and be like, I didn't notice that happen. I guess he was just like that to begin with then.
Yeah.
Probably probably was bleeding from the start. It's fine.
Yes, this is probably okay. I
He's,
just don't get
he's
it.
completely happy to call fouls like nobody's business, but if someone's getting killed on the court, that's fine.
I think he was just too busy yelling, "We paid for your hats. What a waste of council tax."
I think that's the best tweet I've ever made, by the way.
It
Just
was
putting that.
excellent. I enjoyed that. But yeah, that match was, and then just that kind of compounded on the fact that you already know these guys basically jeopardized Kyoshi's career last year from the outset, so you already know that they're bellends, and then they come into this match and they literally start doing this to everybody, and just their general attitude as well, and the way they carry themselves. So there's that guy who's literally like blowing bubble gum on the court, and just basic things like that just show just this crazy level of disrespect, and it's like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah, you loathe that team. You just despise them. They're just all such icky. They're just icky.
Yeah.
And then there's the fact that they win, and they don't
Because they have
change.
good teamwork. Like, they can actually play together. Because they're all horrible people and, like, work well together.
Yeah.
Which is so, like, makes it even more frustrating
But
because
it's
you're
like,
like,
that's the thing. It's
they're
just like-
actually good.
Yeah, and then Seirin beats them, and they just show no signs of change whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh well, we lost.
Yeah,
well,
that's
we're just
another
gonna carry
thing.
on doing things the way we do. And it gets like
Yeah,
halfway
there's
point,
no,
they're like,
like-
oh, our cheating techniques aren't working, so we're actually gonna play properly now, and they do better doing that
Yeah.
than when they
Yeah.
were cheating.
This is like, we're doing all that cheating. I'm actually really shit at basketball as well. FYI.
It's like,
It makes no sense.
He keeps all his talent in his eyebrows, and they only activate when he gets a bit more sweaty.
his caterpillar.
Yeah, it like drinks the sweat, and it's the saline in there just kind of goes, oh. Eyebrow powers activate.
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows. One of my something I absolutely loved about this match, because this is probably my second favorite match of all of the manga. One of the biggest reasons is because of Kuroko's emotions, and it's like we've started to see, because at the start you're like, oh, he's just kind of this emotionless character, straight guy. And as we see him develop, we realize more and more that he has a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
He just is very in control. And so then when he gets pissed, you're just like, oh my God.
This
Like,
is a big
you're
deal.
terrified. It's like
Yeah.
it's like when you have that dad who's always really quiet, and then you do something that's like, you get really in trouble, but instead of yelling, the dad just gives you the silent treatment. You're like, oh my God, I did something so bad. I am so sorry. And so it's like being on the receiving end of that would just be terrifying. And so when Kuroko like confronts Hanamiya, and Hanamiya just pisses him off.
Yeah.
See that scene in the locker room when Kuroko's just fuming.
Yeah.
I loved that panel in the manga, and I loved it in the anime. Like,
The
it just
bit-
strikes you.
The
The
bit
bit with
where,
Aomine, when Aomine and Hanamiya have the encounter, that's kind of seals the deal. It's like, yeah, you're gonna lose. You pissed off Kuroko.
Yeah.
You're getting knocked.
That's
mate.
all.
I
pissed
think
them off,
the
that's
bit that
the
was the most emotionally charged for me that made me go, oh shit, was when Kagami just like turns around to deck the one guy, and Kuroko
Yeah.
has to stop him. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. Like, you can see Kuroko slowly get, even when Kuroko's like, I'm really mad too, and his eyes are just kind
Yeah.
of furrowed, like his eyebrows are, you're like, but you can tell, you've just learned over the season to like train yourself and understand when Kuroko's emotions are changing just by the little minor details in the animation and the design of his character. And so then that going into the part where Kuroko breaks the spider web and is just like, just trust me. And they all just
Yeah.
start throwing the ball, and Kuroko's acting independently, and they all happen to get, oh my God, I loved that part so much. And Hanamiya starts to freak out as Kuroko keeps hitting the ball away from him. It's like, yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, it's awesome.
One of my favourite bits in the match was, firstly, where Teppei was like, I'm protecting him,
Oh, that's
These are
it.
my friends.
as he had like blood trickling down his face. That was really nice. But I really like the interaction between Teppei and Rico, where he was like, I will hate you for the rest of my life if you take me out of this
Even though that
game."
was clearly a bluff. Teppei
Yeah.
is incapable of hate. He's physically
Yeah.
incapable of that emotion, clearly.
But what I liked the most was when Rico was like, I'm taking you out, you can hate me all you want,
Yeah.
but I gotta do my job, so...
Yeah.
Oh, those two
I
are
just
obviously
thought that was
getting
really
married
nice.
one day. Like,
Yeah.
They
The best,
dated.
or otherwise.
It's canon that they dated in middle school. or like
Aw.
early high school, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But then they broke up, but that's why they call each other by their first names, and now they're just like friends and really nice to each other. It is
Aw.
canon though. Fun fact of the day.
I just thought it was so good that she was being a good coach rather than trying to be like, I really don't want this guy to hate me. I
Yeah.
like that little bit.
I want to win as well. Don't really care about him. I just want to win.
And imagine how much booty he can grab with that vice claw.
From midair as well, while it's in motion.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Trying to like picture that.
just scrubbing back a second to like between the Shutaku game and the Kirasaki one. That little cutaway of Midorima shooting number 2 was hilarious.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and he's like, "You peed in my thing."
He peed in my wagon. I'm gonna shoot him.
No.
Don't shoot him.
Was the wagon like his lucky item, or was he just lazy?
No, it's like, do you not remember when he first got introduced? Yeah, it was just because he was lazy.
Oh,
so when
yeah,
he first
yeah,
got
'cause
introduced,
of-
you've got
Yeah.
what's his name,
How-
cycling with him in the back.
Taco cycles him, rides him like everywhere. Drives him
It's
everywhere.
like,
don't
why
understand
do
how-
I even do this?
I don't
Yeah.
understand how those two are friends at all. I really don't.
It's respect, like one-sided respect. I'm sure.
It's amazing.
Oh dear. But
So,
yeah,
yeah.
that game was full of feels.
Full of feels, so good. Yeah, I agree with like Riga taking Tepe out and just like, because Hyuga, it also that leads into Hyuga being like, listen, moron, we're gonna take care of it. Just trust us.
Yeah.
Like you're going on about trusting your teammates. Trust us to win this game. And like Hyuga had been off that entire game because he was definitely feeling the emotions and the anger and everything from the previous match and just how it had built up. And so to see his like gang mode.
The
That's
sheer
wrong.
fact that he
Game
was unable
mode.
to shoot for the entire game, like he was unable to shoot his normal 3-pointers. He must have had to have broken so many Sengoku period figures when he got home that
Yeah.
night.
Oh no.
Just like crying. Yeah, so to see him like switch gears.
Masamune
Kimura!
Chicken! Oh man, that
See
was
him
hilarious.
kick it into gear was great too. Just see when Saren gets going, Saren is badass.
Hyuga,
Saren-
I had a whole new I liked Hyuga anyway, but this season really made me go, oh man, this guy, what a legend.
I think he should have kept the
Especially when
blonde
he-
hair personally.
Alright.
right?
It's like
What
I
a
was
punk.
watching it, and with my friend, and he's just like, "Is that Kisei?" Why's
Yeah, man,
Kisei
it's
wearing
Kisei with
glasses?
It's fashion
It wasn't
glasses.
why is Hyuga blonde. It's why is Kisei wearing glasses?
Oh man.
It's like, isn't that the yellow miracle? It's like no.
Maybe that's why he dyed his hair, because he
Yellow
knew that
Spittle.
people would just confuse him for the Yellow Miracle Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But
But
yeah.
yeah,
That match was amazing. I love
so
that
good.
match.
Oh, genius. I loved it. Every second of it.
I
And
hate
then-
it, but I think that's why I liked it. Because I hated it and I'm like, please, just
Yeah.
let it end.
Well, this is. I think this
Oh
is
yeah,
the.
you're just like, oh.
This is a perfect example of a game where you kind of got no real investment in the other team, in the sense that you want them, you really, really want them to lose. It's not a case of you want Seirin to win. It's a case of you want them to lose. You want these guys to
Yeah.
fail because they deserve it. So you kind of, I believe you sort of have a moment where you channel their indignation, which is always a good feeling as well. It's kind of reverses it a little bit. Where then you get a situation like, I mean, like when going into the next match, when Seirin, plays Kaijo again, which is inevitably going to happen, that is going to be a lot more charge of balance, because you like both teams, maybe not equally, but they're both amiable teams that you're going to like some characters on some others, so you kind of have that feeling of conflict, as it were. I know I'm going to be conflicted going into that game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it really is a case of Kurosaki Daiichi. They are the closest thing to villains that you're going to get, really.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
They
on
are villains.
Well, they
yeah,
are
exactly.
because like
Because
you
there's no
have,
honor,
like-
there's no rivalry.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have like the Generation of Miracles who are all douchebags and like dicks in their own right, but they're not bad people. Whereas you have Kurosaki Daiichi who are really bad people and just love messing with people and like injuring them and crushing their dreams. Like they thrive on that, especially Hanamiya. And so you have two very different kinds of villains. Well, not even villains, just different antagonists.
It's
and
sort
so
of a
like,
matter of respect.
yeah, for sure. And
Because
so
any
I
match.
do. Huh?
Sorry, any match involving a Generation of Miracles member is basically very much grounded in respect, even if they're acting like total dicks towards each other. But at no point in that Kurosaki Daiichi match was there any respect from anyone towards anyone, no matter what.
No.
I mean, case in point, Amine. That guy was like before he got beaten. That guy was a total jeb end, but he was still like the reason why I'm the way I am is because I'm looking for a worthy opponent. And then when he finally got one, that was when he was like, right.
Is that the next match?
It
that a good
is the
segue?
next match. Yeah,
Yeah,
they went
yeah.
straight into that pretty much.
Yeah, well, we had the wonderful hot spring episode.
Yeah,
Best hot
exactly,
spring
and
episode
that's
I've
when,
seen in
that's
my
when they
life.
found out that was the first match
And,
at
and
the
shout
hot
outs
spring.
to like we had our little tiny slice of fan service in season 1, and in season 2, it's like
It was bounteous.
It was so good.
Everywhere. It was amazing. I loved it.
I love the hot springs chapter in the manga is one of my favorite because it's just like the humor in Kuroko, like the hot springs episode and like the hot springs scene just like displays it so well, how hilarious it is and just how great the dynamics between the teams like Saren is. And I just thought it was so funny with like Hyuga and the like ordering Kagami to wash his back, and Kagami keeps grabbing the wrong brush. And he's like, Hyuga, why do you keep going back? Stop.
When it got to the point when the guys were like, "Hey, let's see if we can get an eyeful," when they found the hole in the wall, did anyone giggle like a child when the one guy said, "I can't see. There's a bush in the way." I did.
No, but I am
giggled.
now.
I giggled internally.
I just love like a little bit afterwards where Rico's dad shows up and he's like, how many of you saw my daughter
And
naked
he literally
yesterday?
pulls out a gun. He pulls out a real gun.
And they're like, oh my
I'll shoot you in the head. It'll be quick. It'll be fine.
He's like, only I'm allowed to see her naked. It's like, oh.
And then she's like, shut up.
It's almost in a way that it's like that is like a really, really creepy thing to say. But you know what? I'll forgive you because you're Rico's dad and you're amazing.
And you're like, when you see this guy, it's like, so if Rico's got super powered magic number vision, what the fuck is this guy gonna do?
What's her dad gonna
It's
do?
like when Rico and Momoe are in the tub and she's looking
Boob
at
touch!
she's,
Boob touch!
she's looking at Momoe and all the little radars and like things are just going out of control.
Coming at her like her tits.
She's just like, cannot deal.
So funny. So funny. Yeah, the hot springs just amazing. Kuroko and Bubbles. They're just like, what is happening to you?
What did he have on his head? He was just had a giant.
It's like a hat to like block the bubbles from getting in his hair.
It was crazy. I think he should wear it all the time.
It's so good. And
I
that led
also
into
wanna give
like
shout-outs to, there was
passing
a
out
shot-
too. Oh my God.
Shout outs to who?
There was a shot of just Tepe completely naked, sat on a rock, and I was like, "This is glory."
Yeah, I looked at that and my friend was like, it's Gilgamesh.
Oh my God.
Because he was sitting in the exact pose.
It is.
Gilgamesh is blonde.
Yeah, but he was in the same pose and he was naked.
I'm
Why
gonna-
has Gilgamesh
I'm
got
gonna
blonde? Why has
say it.
Gilgamesh got brown hair?
I'm gonna say Tepe's better than Gilgamesh.
Nah, man, I disagree.
Said it. Said it.
Gilgamesh should open the gate of Babylon and there'd just be like basketballs just firing out of it.
But and then we
Grab
have
Gate
like
of Babylons.
then we have Kuroko passing out and Kagami having to take him inside, and then Aomine
Yeah.
being there. And so then that's when we like find out that Toho, they're gonna have that rematch of Toho versus Saren.
And this fact is literally goes, we're gonna have a rematch now. Pretty much, it was like rematch right now. It's coming up.
Immediately. And the, like they go into the sauna. Like,
Oh,
the scenes
yeah.
are in the sauna.
That was quite good though. I enjoyed that episode because even though they knew they were going to face each other at the tournament first, you got that really nice the really nice sense of these are both two opposing teams that are about to play each other, but you got this really nice sense of banter between the two of them.
Yeah.
Which you didn't really get anywhere else, because you've got like Kaijo and Seirin just have the kind of mutual respect for each other, and the like Shutoku, I mean, Shutaku, even when the case of their interactions with the teams outside of games, it really is just Midorima and Takao. There is, no one else really kind of interacts with the rest of the team, but you kind of got all of Seirin and all of Amine's team.
Yeah.
Toho,
yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Toho, yeah. And it was quite nice seeing that kind of thing. And these guys are about to play each other, and it's going to be brutal. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's quite heartwarming.
Yeah. And I love, it also just shows, like, there's a lot more slice of life stuff in the manga, and I wish the anime, a lot of it gets cut from the anime because of time constraints.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice for them to have that in there, because the slice of life stuff is really good, too. It's not just about the development we see on the courts, like seeing them off the court, both like in training and also just general slice of life funness is really refreshing and just gives you a better idea about the characters, because they're not just on the court. Like, who we see on the court is really fun, but also seeing them off is just as fun, I think. And so having this little slice of life banter, like you were saying, was really enjoyable for sure.
I find that
I don't want to read the manga.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but
they cut out. Oh, sorry.
No, go on. What did they cut out?
I was gonna say, when the part where I knew it was gonna get cut and it still hurt, when they find out what leads into the backstory with Kurosaki Daichi, like Seirin's like backstory, in the manga, that is led into by they're having a cleaning day, and it's this chapter where like, we have to clean the locker room, and they're in the locker room and they're like, this is disgusting. And like, there's just everybody's lockers, and like Riko freaks out because one locker is just covered in mold, and so she's like, burn everything. And so they're like, hey, I found a Christmas tree, and she just throws it in the fire. Like, she just
That's amazing.
so it's just like a really fun slice of life. It's like one of my favorite chapters. It's hilarious. And so they cut that out, and I knew they were going to, but it made me so sad at the same time.
I find that with at least the way the anime kind of dealt with it, obviously it needs to cut some stuff because of time constraints, but I still feel like the balance was really good. Because like with me, because I went in, like the slice of life stuff was a nice aside, but I was there strictly for the matches. I was like, I just want the action, I want the action now, give it to me. So I felt like they made a... Oh, go on.
I'm kind of on the opposite end, where I'm like, I kind of would have preferred more of the slice of life stuff as a nice break in between some of the really intense moments of the series.
Yeah.
And sometimes like that one hot spring episode just wasn't enough because I was exhausted.
See for me, like, that was
mentally
perfect.
from that one match with Kurosaki Daichi.
Yeah, that was with me that was kind of perfect, because I wanted to just move on to the next match. I was like, I want to see more. I want to get to the Toho match. I want to see Amine on the court again. I want to see how that escalates. But one episode was definitely a good idea, and I liked that the series makes a conscious effort to have at least one kind of more slice of lifey episode between episodes.
Yeah,
it would always be at least one. And it was a nice aside, because like you say, I mean, had it have been any more, I probably would have kind of lost my drive a little bit. Had it have been less than that and it just gone straight from one game onto another, it would have been exhausting, even for someone like me that's just like, give me action all the time.
Yeah.
Give me action or give me death.
I felt like it had 2 consecutive matches at some point. Maybe I'm wrong.
At the start,
they wouldn't have been major ones.
Yeah, they were only the smaller ones. I think. Kind of at the start of the series, they did a couple.
The little one episode matches where they were like having a match a day or whatever.
The match from Toho into Yosen, like from Almina to Murasakibara, that one for me felt really fast. Like the split between that, I felt like
the only like reprieve that we got was where you meet Alex properly.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
Like between those matches, it was Alex. Yeah,
I was just like, yes, more fan service and more English. Can this episode get any better?
And then you're like, what? She's old. Damn it.
I wasn't. I was like, I don't care.
I love her.
She was awesome.
She's a babe. Yeah, so the hot springs, and then they have like the training. Yeah, they have that one training camp.
Training in the mountains.
Training in the mountains.
Go play cops.
Or Kagami randomly goes back to America. I like that they're just like, where'd Kagami go? Oh, he went back to America. They have this like exchange program that he randomly decided to do. I was like,
oh, that's another thing. I found it so funny because it's like Kagami's off to America and then he's just back in like 10 minutes. Like, oh. You see one
mean-
little like 2-minute clip of him in America, and he's back.
Yeah. They show, like, that was another thing that, I hate to keep being like, in the manga, this happened. But, like, in the, they do show him, like, actually training. Like, you get, like, a shadowy figure of Alex before she's introduced, where you see him training in America for, like, a page and a half against all these, like, really huge ripped dudes on, like, street ball. But, yeah, like, in the anime, it's like, oh, he's there. Oh, he's back. Apparently it was 2 weeks. Okay.
You do see that clip of him in America.
You see
Do
a
you?
you see a clip
Yeah.
of him in America.
It's literally like a minute,
yeah.
but you do see
It's
him.
not
like,
even a
really
minute. It's
quick.
like
Oh,
30
that's
seconds
right,
or
yeah.
something.
Because there's
Okay,
there's that
that's
one
right,
guy that's
yeah.
like, "Hey, Kagami, you came back."
He's like, let me try
Oh,
it
that's
again.
right. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, he's like, that was really fast. Okay, how much better did he get? He's got to be really jet lagged.
Yeah. He comes straight back, and then he just gets scissored in the face. It's like, oh, I like
I
it.
come
more.
back to
yeah,
this.
Can we talk about him now?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
let's
because
do that.
they kind of have that meeting just before the Toho match, don't they? So
Yeah, because Akashi calls everybody, summons. Excuse me,
There's
let me use the
someone
right
who
word.
doesn't
He
belong
summons.
here.
yeah, and it's that little kid that's just, well, let's say little kid,
like,
that one guy that's just
Furry-
like shitting
Furry
himself
Hana.
in the background, like, oh no.
Little precious, I love him so much.
I
He's
always
just-
wanted to meet the Power Rangers. I didn't realize it'd be this scary.
Oh man, Hiroshi Kamiya as Akashi is like my favorite.
Was it him? Because I was listening and I was like,
Yeah.
well, you sound
Yeah,
like
it's him. It's
If I-
him.
if I was
Hiroshi
Kagami.
Kamiya.
If I was
Oh,
Kagami and I had some knob end with red hair try and shove a pair of scissors into my face, I'd just be like, "What is going on with your eye? You need to go see a doctor, mate."
It's like, it's
Two
fucking
different
soy
colored
Sasuke.
I love that he cuts his own hair.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
so
like
so well too.
I can't
Yeah,
help
and
but
it
feel
just
like
looks
that.
perfectly fine afterwards, and it's like, that's not how it happened.
I can't help but feel like that was kind of because he kind of went, "Oh, his hairstyle looks far too similar to Kuroko, so I'm just gonna cut his bangs a little bit."
Yeah,
Just have that as a random thing.
Chop. But yeah, what
I'm
did you
kinda
guys think about
scared.
his little walk-in first introduction meeting?
Kind of terrifying. Like, I don't know. I don't know what he's capable of, and I'm
He's
worried.
not
I'm genuinely
Like,
scared.
for him, winning is just breathing. It is not something he has to try. It is just a natural occurrence that comes into his life.
So basically,
so he just sits on the
what they're
bench.
saying is Seirin are gonna beat his team, and then he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
If it's a natural function to him, he's just gonna keel over. Poor Akashi, I feel sorry for him now.
I know, right?
I know, it's
what
like,
was I
he
gonna
actually,
say?
it's a medicine. He needs it to live. It's not his fault.
Victory.
Yeah.
There was something I was gonna say, and it's just gone ooh out of my head.
Was
it
it about
a
Oh,
Akashi
Akashi?
the fact that you find out later on down the line that Akashi was the person who taught Kuroko how to use misdirection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
It just
discovered
shits
his
me up.
power.
Yeah, it's just like
Which leads me to believe Akashi's just gonna be like a really, really annoyingly good Kuroko.
yeah, I'm actually invisible.
Not saying a thing.
Exactly. It's just.
Oh,
I want to
It's
know
like,
so
and I
bad.
didn't teach you to shoot because I didn't want you to be able to beat me. I'm sure that's going to happen. Because he didn't teach
I'm
Kuroko
kind of-
to
I
shoot.
didn't teach you to shoot because it'd be too dangerous. I knew you'd be too
Yeah.
bad at it and you'd hurt people.
I'm kind of sad that we've had these like 2 weeks of watching nothing but Kuroko, and now I either have to wait for 6 months,
Hey, you can
Or-
watch the first
Yeah.
match.
watch it weekly.
Yeah, the first match finished.
Yeah, I'm considering just waiting at this point for it all because I enjoyed watching it like all in a marathon with my buddy so much, and if I had
Yeah.
that experience without having seen it already beforehand, it would just be like so much better.
Funnily enough, I had a moment where I was really enjoying myself. I think it was watching. It was one of the first matches in the second season, and like John was just downstairs, just here on the sofa watching it with me, and he was just there. But he was vaguely interested in what was going on, and I found that I was kind of really hyping myself up, just explaining what was going on. This guy, yeah, kind of going about Kagami, going like, this guy, yeah, he can jump really high. That's his like ability. He can fly. That's his thing. Kuroko, yeah, he's basically invisible. And just kind of me reeling off in my head was been like, just me going, this is ridiculous, but I love it. Listen to how hype
But
I'm
it's so
getting about this.
exciting.
I spent half the time just going, wait for it, look at the telly, wait for it, this bit. Oh!
Oh my
And-
god, just sitting there like.
Moving into the Toho match, there was so much of that in this match. This match was the entire series for me. So much happened. You had, and then it's just so many special moves and things as well. You had the birth of the impact, the Ignite past Kai.
Ignite past Kai.
Impact in, you've got misdirection overflow, which was ridiculous.
Yes,
I think
so
my
ridiculous.
favorite part in the series, like my favorite like frame or anything, is literally just the moment where Thingy disappears.
Yeah,
It's just like it was just like, oh no, Kuroko's completely useless, and it's just like, what?
Bye.
I like the one moment where Kuroko like tries to stop. He stops the ball from going out of bounds, and he just kind of like flops.
Yeah, he
flops
dives
his
for it.
heels.
What else have you
It's
got
like,
as well?
oh,
You've
everyone's
got-
getting injured who I like.
You've got the introduction of the zone as like a motif for the entire thing, which was just amazing, and like loads of other just ridiculous crap as well. Just everything kicking off, and it was
It just,
I was
it's
sat in
usually
bed
the
watching
other-
this, and I literally had my hair like this, and was just pulling at it as I was watching it because
Oh
I
my
couldn't do
God,
anything
how
else. I was
mean.
like, I don't know.
How meaning Kagami's like in the zone was just
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 you knew
watch-
the moment that Aimine went in the zone, and then Kagami's like, let me face him one on one. You just kind of go, oh, he's gonna. He did.
said it
Oh, he
wrong.
did.
You said it wrong. Wow.
Wow.
wah
Wow.
wah wah wah.
This is Japanese wow wow.
I want to make a video of just all the times they say wah wah
Wow.
in this
Wow.
show. Just like
It's so
a
cute.
super
I'd
cut.
like to hope that if
Wah,
it gets
wah,
a dub, they keep that. And
Yes,
say, wow.
they
You're
just-
gonna play me wow wow.
Wah wah
What was that? Wow wow.
wah wah.
Thing is, if
but-
they dub it, then this is Japanese lunchtime rush, which won't be the same unless he says
They'll
it in
just
Japanese.
say it in Japanese.
Yeah, they just leave Kagami's like sound bite.
Yeah, they just leave that in. This is Japanese lunchtime rush.
They should.
Nihongo bento rashu.
Kore wa Nihongo no bento rush desu.
Yes.
That is like the worst Japanese I've ever said. I can feel Emily laughing at me in the background.
Wah,
in terrible
wah.
Japanese.
Wah wah.
This is Japanese lunchtime rush.
Rush.
Oh, but
But yeah, with the Toho match we had before, like all of the like in the zone and everything, we had Kuroko, like Almine still kind of like crushing Kuroko
Yeah.
a little
That
bit,
was
but there was
heartbreaking.
definitely that was when he stopped the Ignite past Kai. You're like, wait, no, how did no? What? Why? Why did that happen?
It
And
was-
Kuroko
I don't care. Like,
Mister.
that
No,
first
Mister.
that first Ignite past Kai was genius. I was just like,
So
because he goes in for it, and he's like all the wind and stuff going around him. It was a proper
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z moment, where it's like,
it was so Dragon Ball. The bill.
I think that was one of the most like dickheadish like cliffhangers in the entire show. Though, if you're watching that weekly, literally the last 3 words of the episode are "Ignite Pass Kai."
Yeah,
See you next week, everyone.
It's like,
Ew. And then the ending credits come up, and you're like, what? What? Yeah.
so
Yeah,
good
so
though.
like, so
Oh,
good.
I had a
So
problem
just-
with the recaps this season. I forgot about that. 4 minutes,
were 4
30 seconds is
There-
not okay
There was some.
for a
Thing
recap.
is, what was
Just
really
putting that
annoying
out
about the
there.
recaps were in some episodes you had recaps, and then there were a couple of episodes here and there that didn't have recaps. So I would
Yeah.
skip forward to 3.5 minutes because that's usually when it kind of the opening sort of ended, and then I'd find out I'd missed stuff, like the Ignite past Kai, and I was like,
Yeah.
Go back.
I had to go straight back for that one. I was just like, Ignite past Kai.
And then there's
Has
like,
anyone
I think it's, like
in
2
the chat-
episodes where they have new footage at the ending as well, like after it, before
Yeah.
the preview.
Yeah.
It's so annoying where that only happens like twice because you
Hate
miss.
that.
Any guys in the chat that watched Kuroko for the first time last week or this week? How many of you tried an Ignite Pass? Be honest. Be honest with me.
Oh.
How many of you have tried an Ignite Pass? What was it on and where did it go?
I knocked out me ma'am. it were a coconut.
Ignite
She
Pass
walked in
coconut.
I were making a curry, and I knocked out me man.
So I'm in the process of moving out, as a lot of you may already know. So I've been Ignite passing books into the boxes.
Big ball of bubble wrap,
Yeah, man, get that in there. Boosh.
Boosh.
bang straight on there.
I made so many noises. I think I've made more noises during this show. Like just random things like oosh, a boosh. Just when things are happening. Just like I'm like, is this how it feels to be a real basketball fan?
That your neighbors are like,
Ooh.
God, I can't wait for
It
that
totally
guy to be gone.
Like, to be a sports fan, it's all about like making just really strange noises as you're watching, because you're just like, oh, ah!
I've never been quite
That's
this
what it is.
vocal when watching a sports anime. I don't think.
We paid for your hats. We paid for your
We paid for your hats.
What a waste of
What a
council
waste of
tax.
council tax. We pay for your hats. English football chants, ladies
English
and gentlemen.
football chants are amazing.
Yeah.
The referee's a wanker.
Love it. Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's a real one that gets whenever the referee makes a bad call, i.e. a good call.
Your dad washes elephants and your mum's a whore.
Oh
Oh my god, that's
That's real
amazing. I love
there
that.
are so many good ones. All I'm gonna say is English football fans are the most creative bunch in the world.
Yup.
They take a
Sort of.
little and they make a lot.
Apart from all of like most clubs have a chant that's just he's just a fat something. He's just a fat something. That's all the chant is.
Oh my
Like
god,
he's just
I
a
love
fat
it.
Spanish waiter. It's like
That's amazing. I love that so much. That's awesome.
Anyway.
Skill. I was gonna say skill 392 mentioned when Kuroko does the ignite pass and Hyuga catches it, so it's not just Kagami. It's like they show that it's not just Kagami who can catch anymore, and
Oh,
Hyuga
yeah.
gets all pissed because it
He's
hurts.
got the big hand. He's got,
Yeah,
he's
he's
got
like,
the uber yowie hand. You'll see this again later, Kuroko.
Oh yeah, Ebby, did you get anything out of Shimazaki Nobunaga this time? If you were listening out for it,
I did, but most of the time he didn't sound like Haru, so that's probably why I didn't realise that it was Haru's voice actor. But I definitely heard.
I was really
she was like,
annoyed.
Nobunaga this time.
I was really annoyed by the fact that Sakurai didn't say sorry once during the entire match. The apologetic mushroom.
God.
He didn't
He didn't say it at
apologise
all?
for anything. He was like really aggressive in this one with Hyuga. And
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
was.
what's
Yeah.
this? You're supposed to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
little
he was
bit of a man.
getting pissed off, man, because he was getting
I love
battered.
how this thing. He's just like,
It was awesome. But yeah, he needed to apologise more. He wasn't enough of an apologetic
yeah, he
mushroom.
wasn't.
Was it just
It's
me, or
like,
did he
oh,
look
he
really
jumped back.
different in this season as well? Like, he just, I don't know, something about him seemed different. Like, in terms of his design. I think they changed his hairstyle slightly, or just the way
Maybe
he'd been
in
drawn.
between season 1 and 2, he became a man.
He went from mushroom to man.
Oh,
manshroom.
yeah.
Manshroom.
Manshroom. He's a man shroom.
The when Hyuga did the whole fade away shoot thing for the first time, I was just like, oh, so good, because it was showing like a second year like evolving for the first time.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being Kagami or Kuroko, it was Hyuga, and I didn't expect him to do anything quite as spectacular as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I just say, this series actually made me care about Seirin as a team a lot more,
Yeah.
because it wasn't just Kuroko and Kagami, it was like, oh, I like Tepe, I like Hyuga, they're all like really cool guys, catface guy, cutie.
Because they've all got
Face.
superpowers now.
Izuki, the Hawkeye, Eagle Eye. I think he has Eagle Eye.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
Eagle Eye.
He has one of the bird eyes.
But yeah, all we need to do now is find out what the other first year's names are.
Yeah.
I know they've already. I know they've been mentioned before.
I can
but-
only remember one. I can only remember
Oh my
one.
God.
Furihata. Furihata is the brown-haired guy who went with Kuroko. He's the only one whose name I can remember. I think one is like Kawara, I think is another one. And
They need to do something. The only thing they've succeeded in doing so far was pissing off that one random team because they fielded all the first years.
Well, Furihata also pissed off Akashi by being there.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
And
well,
he
yeah,
almost
that's
lost
true.
a fucking ear. You don't belong here.
But yeah, like in the sorry, something else about the Toho match I really liked was when Kuroko's spirit, like Almine kind of like just stomps on his spirit.
Oh yeah.
And Kagami does like the little head pat thing and is like, there's no such thing as a useless effort, and then goes out and talks about how Kuroko has saved him and the team so many times, and so now he wants to be the one to save him. I was like, ah! It's so
I feel like that was kind of
ah.
that was kind of brought into reality as well. Like, there's a nice parallel between that whole thing of this, it's our turn to help you out now, turning into the misdirection overflow. Because there's like the swap of roles there, which was really nice. And to be honest, in my mind, I was like, maybe this will happen, but I never expected something along that line to actually happen. The misdirection overflow. I was just like, and then so when it did actually happen, I was like,
because the show, like, it brings the vanishing drive like into it in the first match. Like, whoa, this is crazy. It's like, yeah, everyone can do that now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're like, what?
And then they make the whole point of going, yeah, but now that they've done this, they can never do it against Toho again. It's done. Which is like,
exactly.
shit. But it also kind of exemplified the fact that this match was so important to them because of the big reveal that
he'll learn something new by the next time they fight.
Oh yeah, she'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Like, Kuroko is just Shiroe. Let's be real.
But yeah, this match was the one where it was the big reveal that Kyoshi wouldn't be able to play basketball after this tournament.
Yes.
Like this is it for him, which is what makes it so important.
I don't approve. I don't like it. Take it back because I can't deal.
Well, he's going to be graduating anyway, isn't he? So it don't matter.
Well, they're second years.
No, he's a second year. Okay, yeah, he's a second year.
Yeah. So
well, that is kind of like a major plot point in driving focus in most sports anime, where it's just like, oh, we've got our third years, we have to do it this time because otherwise it's too late, and there's always that moment where
they've kind of really accelerated it by saying, yeah, this guy's knee is buggered, so he's never going to be able to play basketball again after this.
It's just that line of, there's always next time. It's like, there is no next time.
Yeah,
I got like
that
strange
destroy.
I got a strange amount of satisfaction from the end bit after the match had finished, where you see the third years of Toho just like the little red patches under their eye, and I'm like, yeah, you lost, suck it.
I really liked Toho by the end of that match specifically.
I didn't like the one guy, I don't remember his name, anime smiley face guy, I call him. He's basically
anime smiley face guy.
Imayoshi, the captain,
Yeah.
glasses dude.
Yeah,
the
Hawkeye
Fox
guy.
No, the captain. So like the schemer,
The
basically.
captain. Yeah.
Oh wait, no,
Hawkeye
Hawkeye
that
is
guy.
Shutaki.
Yeah. Is he?
Wait, who?
Who's the Hawkeye guy again?
Taco on Shutoku.
Yeah, okay.
So he's a Shutoko guy. But yeah.
I don't remember what Imayoshi's thing is. I think he's just
Imayoshi's like the anti-Kuroko, the guy that just always dicks over Kuroko, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But he doesn't really have power. They don't really give him a name.
The only thing is, Hanamura kind of mentions that he's not clever, but he's kind of got he's stupid. But no, his thing is just he's really like he's good at reading people.
Yeah.
So he is the best matchup against Kuroko.
I'm on Mal, and his talents are listed as intelligence and mind games. Whereas everyone else is like, he can jump over the sun.
It's true. Something I really liked about this match, like going back to like kind of what puts Kagami in the zone, and like how the misdirection overflow, and just how important Kuroko's been to the team. Like seeing. You really appreciate Saren, at least I really love Saren, because when you think about the generation of miracles and the team that Kuroko came from, and he kind of like touched on this when he was talking to Kagami in season 1, just seeing the dynamic in Saren versus what the team Generation of Miracles must have been like as a team for Kuroko, it just like makes me so happy for Kuroko to see, because it's not something like Kuroko's trying to beat the Generation of Miracles so he can go back to them. He's trying to like beat them so that he can make them love the game again, but at the same time he really loves where he is. He's not striving to go back to this other team. Like, he loves the people he's with, and he loves this team. And so to see him be like Kuroko of Saren is really refreshing and nice, because he's not like trying to become Kuroko of Generation of Miracles again. It's like you're seeing that growth of him loving where he is, and he's not. So that makes me love Saren more and really appreciate them, because they're not just there to like move the story towards the Generation of Miracles. It becomes a lot. The story is just as much about them as it is about the Generation of Miracles as well.
Yeah, that's really important as well, because it's almost like I want to know what happened to the Generation of Miracles, because you see in some of the flashbacks like beforehand, Erin's just like, I know, but I can't say anything. Yeah, because obviously
My heart is still broken.
something clearly happened that turned them all into dicks, because you see some flashbacks where they're all really friendly and nice with each other, and they're all like, yeah, we're I've forgotten their bloody name.
Keiko.
Keiko, yeah, we're Keiko. You know, we're awesome. We're all friends. We just all happen to be ridiculously good at basketball. And then obviously something happened that turned them all into, you know, a little bit knob ends.
Maybe Akashi cut their
because
ears
he's a
off.
sweetheart.
Yeah, apart from Kuroko, who's
Yeah.
the only one that went, something's not right here. I need to sort it out. So yeah, that's
None of
that's
them
definitely
have
going to be a big
ears
reveal
because-
that I'm looking for.
Because they got cut off.
Yep. Like, that's why they've all got like when Murasaki Bara's got floopy hair. Just cover up the fact that he's actually Van Gogh.
Someone just said in chat, Kuroko finally got his fist bump. I nearly cried.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
His
I
fist
totally
bump.
cried. I totally cried.
Well, just the moment when Aimine realizes that he's lost, and you see his face, and his face is completely different. Like he just
Yeah.
has his entire veneer has just changed, and you can notice it from the
Lines on his
outset.
eyebrows and stuff.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, I lost.
It's like, what's this feel? I don't know this feel.
And then he gives the fist bump, and then he teaches Kuroko how to shoot.
Yeah,
Which is
and in that
amazing.
scene where they have that one-on-one, and he's like, I haven't slept in 4 days, and it's like, oh, you should probably do that, bro. You're like, I went home, I had a shower, and all the fangirls went, ooh, dark skin in the shower.
Tell you what, I really didn't like Almine until after he lost. I was like, oh, I don't like this guy. There's something about this guy. I tell you what, actually, I also didn't like Momoi that much, because I don't know, she kept saying like, oh, I like Kuroko so much that I'm gonna go all out against him and we're gonna win, but then always looked so sorry for herself when Kuroko was losing. It just really annoyed me for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All I'm gonna say
I
is
don't know.
I think the main reason why I think she was looking so concerned when Kuroko was getting battered is just because of sort of what was happening in Aomine's mind. Because I think she the whole time wanted Aomine to lose, because she wanted him to experience that so he could, like, you know, grow as a person.
But at the same
don't know.
time, she wasn't about to kind of.
Throw the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she wasn't going to jeopardize
She has
it.
just
She
as
wants
much,
him to
she has
lose
just
at
as much
his full
honour as
power.
everyone else, which makes sense, because she, in her own right, is the Generation of Miracles member.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
Pink Miracle.
Exactly, she's the Pink Miracle Ranger.
The pink.
Shoutouts to when she called Aimine a Ganguro as well. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
I love their dynamic and their relationship so much. They're so cute.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
This match had so
Zone-
much going on. The zone, just the
And then he
zone.
asks her out on a date, but he doesn't show up.
What a dick, right?
He's such a dick. But yeah, this match had a lot happening. That's
So
why it was
much
like
happened.
the longest. It was the longest match to date at the time it like aired. It was the longest match I think in the show.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
It's like 4 or 5. Let me look.
I was gonna say
I
because
remember
the
feeling
1,
really,
2, 3,
really long.
4, 5. It's 5
I was
episodes.
gonna say because the
long.
Murasaki Bara match wasn't that long.
No,
No.
Murray Sakibara.
The Murasaki
was...
Baro match was about 6 minutes, I think. At least that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Probably less
Oh.
than that.
3, 4, 5. Well, Murray Sakibara, it looks like it was about 5.5, 6, too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's
So,
none of that
yeah.
Ice Shield shit where matches last about 18 episodes.
Yeah, none of that. But
And it's
yeah,
just like,
there
please
was
be
one-
over.
There was one of the matches where I swear a whole episode was dedicated to the last like 30 seconds in the last quarter. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know which
That's-
match that
that's-
was, but I
that's
was like,
normal in shonen.
I'm just like,
Like-
I know.
Kuroko in the middle of a play not in the middle of a play, in the middle of the quarter just went, do you guys have a minute? I want to talk to you about something. I'm like,
Yeah,
you probably
I was
don't
like,
have a minute,
no,
to be
you
honest.
really
The match is about to end. Kuroko, can it wait? I need to do a wee.
I really gotta go, guys. Yeah, the zone was ridiculous.
The introduction of the zone as a thing was just like, really? Are we going there now?
Yeah,
And
it was literally just the Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
of
but it was
the
a
Super Saiyan
perfect
equivalent.
explanation as well, because obviously in the first season they foreshadow the fact that Aomine has kind of got somewhere that he can go above what he's already displayed, and that I suppose was kind of the natural progression, which is just he is completely focused on what he is doing. Everything else is blocked out. All he cares about is the game. Bang, blue electricity.
Yeah. And it's just like,
Oh
I
my
love
God,
the way
the
they show it
crackle.
instead of like an aura.
Yeah.
How it's just these like
Yes.
lightning eyes. That's me doing it right there.
Oh yeah, talking about those, I totally see what you mean about season 2's animation being way better than season 1's.
You can see it
Oh
from
my God.
episode
Get it now.
1, from the outset.
You can see it
just
from
be
the
like-
opening, like, just, okay,
Oh
this,
my God,
this looks
opening.
about 15 times better.
The first time they
Mhm.
make a basketball-related move, so the moment that you see a player move, that was the defining moment for me. I was like, wow, okay, this is just a completely different ball game now. Huh.
Yeah. Ha!
They're playing tennis.
Yeah, the animation, especially during like the really pivotal basketball moves, is so good. And like, it's not just still frames and like cutting to other people as it's happening, so they don't actually have to show the full motion. You get
Aw.
everything from beginning to end, the entire follow through. And during
Especially, oh, go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, during the zone, watching, it's so vital seeing that interaction with the other players. It's not
Yeah.
just the one guy who's in the zone. It's like seeing the interaction with the other players, how they're going around and they're trying to move and stop is so important. And they did a really good job during that. Like the directing on the action was amazing. Like the one shot when Kagami and Aomine both go in the zone and it's just a long shot of them like constantly moving around each other and there's like no cut for 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So good.
And those
Oh,
two clash.
goosebumps.
That was just like the
God.
animation kind of pinnacle of the show. When
Yeah.
Aomine and Kagami are both in the zone and they come to blows. It was just it's poetry in motion.
And it was just so funny, like when they sort of showed the looks on everyone else's in the faces. 'Cause they're just like, well, we don't even need to be here.
when they smack the one ball away, like Aomine smacks the ball and Sakurai gets it and he's just like, what do I do? Oh, yeah, okay.
I think it's the first bit where, like, before Kagami enters the zone, Aomine, when Aomine first steals the pass, you just see the pass and he's not on screen, he just runs through the screen taking the ball.
Yes. Oh,
That's
God.
mine.
Amazing.
Just
So good.
nail biter right down to the end as well.
You're just like, yes,
And he
right
just
down to that
smashes it
final
in over
free
his
throw.
noggin.
This free throw will miss. Like that part was so good. The build up, even like a free throw, you're like holding your breath.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, he's got a free throw, so clearly he's just going to throw that and then they'll win. Oh, clearly it doesn't quite work like that.
Yeah, apparently I, don't know the rules
I think
for
it's because you only
basketball.
score 1 point on a free throw.
Yeah, on free throws you get 1 point.
Yeah, so they
My
needed
friend
it
was
to
confused
miss.
about that as well.
Yeah.
And because in order for it to miss, you could then actually go for the 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so good. How it was just so like Kagami's fist bump after he makes that final, or like fist, after he makes the final basket, and just everyone starts cheering was just this like you're still shaking with excitement, but I was like started cheering along
It's
with
the,
it. I
fact,
was like,
it's the fact that it's like proper. It's not just regular cheering. It's like proper like bestial like oh
Yeah, it's just
we
like an
did
eruption
it!
from within your soul.
yeah, yeah.
So good. It's just like oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I was matching it. I was like yes, they've won. Yes.
So good.
And
Just to
unfortunately,
remind the
I-
chat, please don't post season 3 spoilers. Don't
no
want them.
spoilers.
Yeah, no
We
season
will-
3 or manga spoilers past season 2.
Yeah, because otherwise we'll ignite pass you into the bin.
A band.
Yeah, the only criticism that I feel I have for this this match as a whole is just the fact that it kind of massively overshadowed the rest of the season. I feel. In comparison to it, the match with Murasaki Bara and Kagami's childhood friend was a bit of a disappointment. I feel.
Yeah.
Good a time
That
as
was
any.
one of my least favorite matches.
There were a
I
couple of
thought.
good bits, don't get me wrong, like a couple of
Oh,
bits
yeah.
that still kind of got me as hype as before, but they were kind of few and far between, and the biggest ones didn't come until the end. So, whereas obviously the Toho match was just like, it was high octane all the way through. That match went like that for me.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what was between the... Oh, it was the introduction of Alex, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
between
Yeah,
those
there's
two matches.
and like Rico making dinner and they all immediately regretting letting him make dinner. Where she
It's a
puts
hot
like
pot
the fruit
with a
And then
banana
everyone
in it.
died.
and they all just pass out, and we have that that moment of like Kuroko telling Kagami he's happy that he met him, and then he immediately passes out. Right after.
He's dead.
Kagami's
was
like,
about to be a
"What
moment there."
happened?"
His immediate responses, is this some kind of
God,
slow-acting
jeez.
poison? Has Kurosaki died and she at it again? And then they find
Yes.
out that Rico's just put a shitload of protein powder in the hot pot.
Oh,
She's
Rico.
she's obsessed, that girl.
Thinking about it, she's a bit like Nagisa with his strawberry flavoured supplements
Yeah.
in Free Eternal
Oh,
Summer.
Nagisa. Nagisa.
Aw, Nagisa. I love him.
I miss Free. Can we talk about Free for a minute?
No, we're talking about
No,
Kuroko now.
wrong show, Abby. I'm sorry.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
Um.
Can we talk about the bit where Haru uses the Ignite past Kai for the first time? Oh
As
wait,
he's-
no, it didn't happen.
As he's swimming.
Just out of the water.
Let me shake.
Can we combine the two shows and have it so they play water polo?
Yes.
I've
Oh my
shaped
God,
this
somebody
little
needs
bit
to
of blue
make that.
tack into a tier, so
Somebody needs to make that
Oh, no.
that fan
I've
art.
frozen, haven't I? Of
No, you're fine.
course.
No, you're
Oh, there
fine.
we go. There you go.
You
This
freeze
is my
with
tier.
the tear.
This is my tier that you won't let me talk about Free. I know
No,
it's
'cause we're
already
talking
done.
about Kuroko now.
So you were talking about how
Yeah.
freaking Tepe is your new husbando earlier. Haru's really upset.
No,
It's her.
no. I really like him. He's not my new husband. Okay.
Sounds
That's
sounds
Is-
like
is-
sounds like husbando confession to me.
Is he on the list as well now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Husband,
little bit.
is he in your husband harem? I
Which-
support.
Which kind of makes me realise, why is there no Mega House figure of Tepe when they're doing
Yeah,
when there's one
right.
of what's his face from Shutoku? Because he's
Yeah,
way less
wow.
important than Tepe.
I was gonna say that when I saw him on Ami Ami when he got like put up for pre-order, I thought that's really strange. I mean, I haven't been following
Yeah.
Kuroko or Kuroko merchandise, so I don't know what else is available. But I did think it was a bit off the
It's
wall.
basically all the miracles
He's
except
the only
Takashi.
side character.
Um,
Although they have confirmed him, so he's happening. Kagami.
I might have to get them.
What's his name again?
Which
The
one?
red-haired one. I forgot his name.
Akashi, yeah.
Akashi.
Akashi, yeah.
He's got a figure coming out. Takao has a figure coming out now, but no Tepe. And I want
Which
a
is just
Tepe.
weird, because he's like such an important
Well-
So
character.
strange, yeah.
Taco is like a huge like fan favorite in Japan for some reason. Like people like so I don't but it's still
Oh.
weird to me. I'm like
I won't
Come on,
understand why
Tepe.
people don't want a Tepe figure when he's like pretty much Makoto
yeah.
from Free, and Makoto from Free is super popular. Just put
yeah.
that out there.
Yeah, I don't get it. Maybe they'll make one in season 3. I don't understand.
They
Which
better.
is the guy? Just
Yeah,
remind
they
me.
probably will.
Which is the guy from Seirin who doesn't speak? What's his name again?
Mitobi.
Mitobi. That's it. Do you remember
Tobe,
that scene where he's like getting ready for the match and he's just in that house that's full of his siblings and everything? This is
That are all
last season.
super loud.
Then everyone's really loud and Mitobi's just there like.
Yeah, he's just like
I
taking
like
care of
oh,
everyone.
That reminded me of
I don't know which
Makoto.
match
I was
it
like,
was.
yeah.
I don't know which match it was, but before, like in the match somewhere, I don't know. He's like making hand gestures to like one of his friends. and
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
and he like
oh.
does the
Yeah,
like
he's like, I
That, I
understand.
think that's the Murasaki Bara match. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it
I'm
is.
pretty sure it is, yeah.
Never mind, I
think
didn't
so.
say anything. We'll talk about that in a minute.
It's alright. We're pretty much moving on to it now. So
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
one has a lot of there's a lot of dramas happening up in this one with
There's
a
Yuro
lot.
and
I think
Kagami.
I had a lot of reservations going into this match because I was quite concerned at the fact that you've got Murasaki Bara and you've also got I've forgotten everybody's name because all of my memory is being used on Murasaki Bara.
Emo dickhead with the beauty spot.
Yeah,
Himuro.
Phantom,
Yeah.
Mirage
Himuro.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kagami's
Mirage, man.
best.
yeah,
Kagami's
Kagami's brother. I went in with concerns because I was like, the both of these guys are big deals for like both the main storyline and Kagami's personal storyline and his like growth and development. So I was worried that they were going to kind of dilute each other, which I feel like they sort of did, because
I'm not sure. I feel like in the end it was just Murasaki Bara all the way, and Himuro was just a bit shit.
Yeah,
like I got
like
almost
that.
nothing from Himuro, if I'm honest. In this,
Yeah.
I didn't think he was good at all.
Yeah, they did not do a good job at like I feel like he was one of the characters that like really suffered from not as great character development, and like they didn't give him as much time as he deserved. Like for as important as he was, we didn't get very much time at like we got his backstory, but we didn't get his personality, and so his personality is a very difficult one to just easily connect with, and if we don't get him like other than what we're seeing on the court, it's like he's just there for Kagami's drama as opposed to being built up as an own character.
I mean, my main criticism of that as well is they foreshadowed the Mirage shot right at the start of the series, and then when it finally gets introduced, they pretty much defeat it instantly. They deal with it straight away. But I mean, the main thing with him is he is the emotion that is like linked to the game that Murasaki Bara doesn't have. Because obviously, like, Murasaki Bara is this Generation of Miracle members that clearly doesn't give two shits about the game, except he obviously does a little bit.
Yeah, he's just putting
considering
on a
he got
facade.
super salty at the end.
Yeah,
he's like,
so
he's
salty,
kind of
literally
like-
just tears everywhere.
He's just a big immature child.
This is the thing. I had no time
of
for
loved
Murasaki
him.
Bara at all,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I
and then he
loved him,
lost.
yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy's a bit boring. And then he lost, and he was having such a paddy about losing. I was like, I actually think this guy's kind of adorable now, in the way that you'd find a petulant child going, I don't want to play anymore.
No, I loved him from the get-go because basically he wasn't the same as Aomine in that he didn't practice or anything, because he was just like, I hate practice, but I hate losing even more, so he still practices.
Yeah.
So he's not just like, there wasn't a bit at the end where it's like, oh, I lost because I didn't practice. It was just a case of,
I lost because...
Yeah.
And then,
because I lost.
The one thing that I do like about Murasaki Bara is the whole thing where I was concerned that I kind of going into it, the series does a bit of a double bluff as well, when they kind of the match is kind of like kicking off into main gear, and I was thinking, shit, what's gonna happen if Murasaki Bara enters the zone? And Emily was like, nah, that's not gonna happen because he doesn't love the game. And then the characters say, nah, that's not gonna happen because he doesn't love the game. And then he goes into the zone. I was like, oh!
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I
yes.
had a lot of I was kind of like, no, why did he go into the zone? Like, so it's kind of the opposite. Like, just because it didn't accomplish anything other than being like, he does love the game,
I think that's really what it was supposed to prove, wasn't it?
It still just felt really like lame to me because it was the start of everybody's gonna go into the zone now is what it felt like to me.
At the same time,
and so
as well,
I was just kind of like,
I suppose it's one of those things where it's like, now that they've introduced the zone as a concept, pretty much everyone in the Generation of Miracles is going to have to be able to go into it. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuroko goes into it at some point, because it just seems like that higher state. Because now that Kagami can go into the zone, he can pretty much, if there's a plot point that makes him go into the zone, they've just won. So they need they need the opposing characters to be able to go into it as a balancing point, which is kind of...
Erin's just like,
not saying anything.
It's gonna be like,
I know.
It's Akashi's gonna be like the Hulk, and his secret is, I'm always in the zone.
I mean, I loved everything about Murasaki Bara from the get-go, because it was just like, I just love how his power was being huge.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was his power is just like, he's tall.
Yeah,
did the first thing where
Hyuga
Hyuga does the three-pointer, and he just jumps,
He looks
and
like
you
a
don't
Titan.
see him in frame.
He
when
does,
he's
doesn't
like
he?
when he's catching up to like Izuki's running, and then he's just like Murasaki Bara's behind him with the purple eyes, just like
He's just like running like,
It's like,
"Whoa."
my defense zone. My defense zone is the entire 3-point line.
oh my gosh,
he's
yeah.
genuinely terrifying, but he's also really dopey.
Yeah.
So he's adorable.
Yeah.
But
I thought
terrifying.
he just
it's
had like
pretty
some
good.
of the best visual metaphors
Yeah, oh,
in the
definitely.
whole
Yes.
thing. Just because
Yeah, the
any
art
situation
really
where he was
has, like-
glowing, or because his aura and his presence was just so much more than everyone else's. Because
I
it's
loved-
like you're scared of him, man.
Yeah.
Like he just feels like he's capable of anything.
I love the
And
description.
then like the bit where, sorry, when he finally steps out of the 3-point line, it's just like, oh shit, and then like Satsuki's all like, yeah, he's actually primarily an offensive player. He's just lazy, and we're just like, oh.
Yeah.
I really like the
When he gets
metaphor.
going.
I really like the visual metaphor that they use, where they say like Toho is like a piercing presence. You know, it's something that you feel is going to go through you, whereas the presence that you feel from that team is like a towering one. You kind of look at them and think, ooh, kind of like the Iron Wall from Haikyuu. Yeah, it's kind of,
yeah. Speaking of iron wall, we missed out talking about the big iron door that they mentioned.
Oh,
at the
that
first
visual,
half of the
that
series.
visual metaphor that was
When,
like the whole.
when Kagami breaks through it.
Basically, when we find out that all the Generation of Miracles are new types.
Pretty much.
Basically. Yeah, I love the part where it's like way at the beginning of the season when they're like, they mention Kagami just forces his way through it, just rips it open.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that was good.
I even like I just love the foreshadowing leading into this match as well, because when they just showed you like, meanwhile on the other field something very strange was happening, and it's just like 84-0.
Yeah. What was their? Didn't they have like a fancy name? It was something like Wall of Achilles or
The Shield of Aegis.
some like shield
Yeah.
of Aegis. Yeah, some like Greek thing.
Thor hammer.
Thor's hammer.
He just spins.
I was like,
Oh my god.
as soon as I saw him do that, and they said, "Oh, it's like a hammer," and I was like, "Don't you dare call it Thor's hammer or whatever."
It is Thor's hammer.
And then they did.
He broke the fucking hoop. Not a rusty old hoop.
Yes.
The actual
A proper
fucking
hoop,
big
yeah.
And like the
mega
whole
super
thing
hoop.
just. Oh my
It's
yeah.
so
When
good.
dude, when Murray Sakabara gets pissed, he's another character. You're just like, oh no, oh
Like,
no.
no
Was
one
this match-
there
oh,
knew
well.
what to do because they were just like, the match is suspended until we find a new hoop, I guess.
I
And,
like
like,
how
his
they said
ponytail?
the match has been
Yeah.
suspended until. Oh, Murasaki Barra looks so much better with his hair tied back.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I like how their response was, "We're going to postpone the match until we get a new hoop," not "We're going to postpone the match until we fix this one."
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we need a different
They're just
one.
waiting for FedEx, like for like 3 weeks.
Because they literally go home and then come back. Surely they could have fixed it within an hour or something.
Yeah.
And then just carried on the match. But anyway, that's regard. Was this the match that the Vice Claw got introduced, or was it the Toho one?
I'm not sure. It would have made more sense for it to be this match. I think it was this
I
match
think it
because
was
when they're
this
doing more
one
training,
because
Yeah.
just like catch
Yeah.
these awkward objects.
Catch
Whee!
this rock.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Why
And,
Vice
can't I
like,
Claw.
hold all these
Sakabara-
rocks?
Murray Sakabara and Kiyoshi have their little like standoff, differing
Yeah.
personality thing too. And we get that moment where like Murray Sakabara picks up Kiyoshi and everybody's just
Yeah.
like,
I
And
lo- I
then
love how
Kuroko
that's
gets
their
really
rivalry as
pissed.
well. Their rivalry is almost like, Kiyoshi is inadvertently taunting Murasaki Barra by saying, "Oh, come on, it's fun, isn't it?" It's like, no,
Like, he's-
it's not fun. I hate it. Give me some
kind of
sweets.
being like a little shit to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. It's
That was
awesome.
kind of terrifying, that moment where he picked him up, though. I was like, oh no, don't hurt him,
I love the
because you
bit,
are a titan, and I am scared.
Don't eat him. Don't eat him.
the bit where Kiyoshi gives Kagami that advice. And he's like, he's really big, so be careful.
Yeah, that guy.
Like,
That guy. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't realise you had guts on your team. It's just like, where is this? Where do they find these guys? Seriously, is he taking 4 ton of steroids?
That's why I kind of like those two guys together, like Tepe and Purple Guy,
Second
because
yeah.
they're both really, really dopey and dorky,
Yeah.
but
But
can be really cool at the same time. I don't know. I think it's cool.
in like different ways and like their different views on basketball and how you enjoy it, since they differ, like those clash, and so getting to see them interact is really nice.
Yeah. It was good. It was good for the rivalry to be mainly with another character as well, not just kind of Generation of Miracles character versus Kuroko and and Kagami. It was this match was mainly Murasaki Barra versus Kiyoshi. At least on like the mental level, obviously it kind of turned into everyone against Murasaki Barra towards the end. But
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and like with that, like we lost so much of humor. Like he's just so
Yeah, he was so like
he's
I think that's
better
why,
with other people. Like he's just better as a pair. Like him and Murray Sakabara, I love seeing their dynamic and relationship, especially when Humor like starts crying, and that makes Murray Sakabara like get kind of more pissed off and want to try more.
Yeah.
And so like seeing him interact with like Kagami or Murray Sakabara is great, but on his own, it's like why am I supposed to feel for this character?
It was a bit of an odd one. I do feel like he was very much like they could have made more out of his and Kagami's backstory, but they really didn't. And I felt like because that was quite weak, he was washed out, and he just turned into another member of the team. He just happens to have this background with Kagami, which by the end of it, I wasn't really all that bothered about.
I think the breaking point is when they blatantly say, "Yeah, he's not special. He can't go into the zone because he's not got talent. He's just works hard." It's like, oh,
that was sad. That part like hurt. It was like, oh.
No zone
he
for
probably
you.
maybe he could enter the zone if he could see out both eyes.
He needs to borrow Akashi's scissors.
No, he's like, oh, sorry, can I borrow your black crayon so I can put on my little gay beauty spot before the match?
That he had since he was a kid.
Yep. He put it on every day, his entire life.
Every day.
I definitely felt like of all the matches, I thought that this match there was a lot crammed into it. I thought the pacing of it was really, really fast to the point where it was like, I know there was one episode, I think it was like the second to last or third to last, where it was just so much happened, and they shoved usually the episodes are about 3 chapters.
I thought it was a bit. It was very
adapting.
like. It was very up and down. I felt the pacing of this match. Like it started off quite slow, then suddenly went and then it kind of grind to a halt again, and then suddenly went done.
It was done in such very well in that regard though, because it's meant to feel really grindy at the beginning because they've got this wall that they just couldn't break through for like the entire first quarter almost.
Yeah.
And then Kuroko does with his phantom shot.
And so
this
is
phantom shot. Yeah, can we talk about the phantom shot?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
It's a shot that's like a phantom.
It's like, why don't you just pass
does.
Done.
Yeah, when
that's all we
Amine says,
can
"Why don't you try passing to the hoop?" and Kuroko's just like, "No."
He's like, what? Yeah, the phantom shot was really cool.
It made me happy inside because I was like,
I
"Yes,
felt
Kuroko can
proud.
make proper plays." Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like proud for some reason. I was like, he did it. He scored 2 points. He did it.
My little
Baby
crop
did his
rolled,
thing.
rolled up.
He all grown up now.
You're a real basketball player, and not just a bloke that runs around punching balls at people. And I think that really did symbolise like a massive turning point for Kuroko as a character, though. It's almost as if like it was kind of realised at that point that there wasn't really much more that Kuroko could do unless he became like a fully fledged player, and that's why they kind of had that added in for him.
There was a moment in one match where I think Kiyoshi says to Kuroko, "Okay, you got to get off the court now. You're just being a hindrance to everyone."
Yeah, and then, you have that moment where there's just like constant hits and it's like HP levels just down.
I wonder if that was something that made him go, maybe I should learn to like be helpful when I'm not, when I've run out of
misdirection
Well,
juice.
it's
Right.
like
Yeah, I
when
guess.
Riko's dad who says you're gonna hit a wall soon.
Yeah.
And this is that.
And the wall was the shield of Aegis, which is very fitting.
Yeah. Okay, so when the bit I mentioned this in passing last week, that I would talk about this. When I watched this show airing, I was doing it. I was watching it match by match, and because I assumed this series, like the last match, would be done before the last episode, because the last like major match wasn't happening in the last episode last time, like the last Seirin match. I caught up before the last episode had aired yet, and so I'm like, right, cool, and then it's just like gets the end of the episode, and he's just like ties his hair up, game face, see you next week. I wanted to go and punch my dad. I wanted to just walk out. I just wanted to just go. My dad lives nowhere near me. I wanted to just punch someone. I wanted to go to shops. I wanted to just throw things at people. I was not happy.
So angry.
I wanted to break Figmas. I was proper Mardy.
Mardy, what a word for it.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't get any of that. That is one thing that I am thankful for. I didn't get any of that crap.
Yeah, how are you gonna watch season 3? That's the question.
I'm gonna wait. I'll just wait because I'm terrible at watching anime weekly anyway. I've come to the firm conclusion that I am just not a guy that watches things week by week. I am much better at marathoning stuff because, like with work and everything, I prefer to just sit down on a day off and go, right, today I'm gonna blaze through this. It just feels like a much
and then you
better
get to
way
watch
of
all
doing
the Kuroko in a day.
Yeah!
It's just best day.
Well, like, the cliffhangers in this show are horrible. I hate the cliffhangers so much. But
I can
the
only
series,
imagine some of them.
the season finale, I thought had the worst cliffhanger of all time because it ends with Kuroko being like, Kagami, go talk to your brother and give him the ring back. And
Give him a kiss.
runs off. And then it ends with like Kuroko turning and smiling, and then it's over. I was like, what? No.
And then at the end of the credits, what I want to know is there's the end of the credits. You see that random guy walking away. You see like everyone walking away, and then there's that one random person. I was like, who the hell's that?
Yeah.
Who is this guy in my Kuroko? Who is this guy?
The
I
annoying
also
thing was,
forget it.
after
It
that
was
ending,
terrible.
after that ending, my app on my Wii U was like, "Do you want to watch the next episode of Kuroko?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I kind of can't. I kind of really want to. I want to know what happens. Why can't I know what happens?" And then I just like felt really bad for everyone who like doesn't read the manga but really likes the anime because that must have been
Yeah.
like a really long wait.
It was pretty horrible. That was like freaking somewhere last year that finished. March
Yeah,
last
it ended.
year, the end of March.
Yeah, March. Yeah, it was almost a year ago. So bad. I mean, even like having read the manga, I was like, "Are you shitting me?" I was like, "Why would you?"
This is not fair. This is not fair.
I love that the last episode had like every single opening and ending song.
Yeah.
Like ever.
It was just like it's business time.
Yeah, man.
It's like Murasaki Bara is somehow in the zone now.
That bit was so cool. I just loved how much of a blindside that was. Like, I mean, a small part of me did feel like, are they just saying this to try and, you know,
I think the way that I think the way they did it was really awesome, though. I mean, in the end, what he accomplished in the zone was nothing.
Yeah.
But the sort of like it's before the ad break in the middle of the episode, and you just see the little clip of his lightning, and then it goes back into the game, and it's like, oh shit!
It was really cool.
What was that?
To see.
What was that? Murasaki Barry, you got something in your eye. What's that? Oh, wicked! You've won. Oh wait, no, you haven't.
and then when the match ends, and he jumps from like the midway line, he jumps like 75 feet, and is like, oh god, is he gonna do that thing that he failed to do at the start? And then it's like, oh my god, that was amazing.
Yes, the meteor jam.
It's just like throwing it into the hoop, like really
that's the thing.
with a
That actually like there's a video of I can't remember the basketball player that does it, but there's a basketball player that there's a video of him doing that, like doing the meteor jam.
Murasaki Barra, spread some meteor jam on your toast because you're late for school.
Oh, that's back to the start of the episode again.
Jam. Dunk, let me see.
Yeah, man.
I want to see if I can find it. This might be it.
I think the meteor jam was kind of like the perfect way to end it as well. It was just like such a satisfying moment. It's just like, BAM! Go home.
Boom!
And so this begs the question, which of the last two matches did you prefer?
Oh,
Is that even a question?
The Toho one for me.
I like Toho.
Is it a question? Yeah, the Toho.
I don't even know. I like them equally, I think.
Yeah.
I think for me, like the Toho match for me, I think it's because you go into that one with a lot of investment because of what happened in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, you know, oh well, because it's clear at that point that they are going to overcome Toho, but it's like how do they do it? And then just the fact that from start to that is 100% from start to finish that match. So for someone like me that needs to be like, you know, entertained all the time, or I get bored, it just worked for me. Whereas I feel like the other match, whereas with the last match, like I say, I feel like that one that had a bit of junk going on. I feel like the whole having the second fiddle with the Mirage Pass and all that stuff, I felt like that was kind of wasted in that match and was stuff that could have been used elsewhere or could have been something different.
Yeah.
And then it took a while. For me, I felt like it took a while to properly get going, and for that reason, that's why I prefer, and that's why I feel like that match being in the middle kind of overshadowed the rest of the season for me. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I
like I
felt-
say, that's just me as well, though, and it's also because I really like Aomine as a character before and
Yeah.
after he got beaten.
I agree with you on that. I just felt like the payoff for that match, like them beating Toho, was just more of a big deal than them beating
Yeah.
Yosen.
Yo, Sam, that's it.
Yeah.
Plus, Almine wasn't a dick afterwards, so that was quite nice.
Transforming back. But it's like, I mean, it's like what I said in the last episode as well for the previous season. Like, I still liked Aomine even when he was a dick, because he wasn't. He was a dick for sort of the right reasons, in the sense that he was just bored because nobody could, stand up to him, so he just didn't give a shit anymore. Because he's like, well, no one's giving me a challenge. I'm not enjoying this game. Why should I bother? And I can understand why someone would get like that in that scenario. So kind of seeing him on both sides of that just sort of makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to see
Yeah,
him
I
play
agree with
again.
that. Yeah, I agree with
Even though
I agree
like-
with like what you guys said. Like, I really liked the Toho match because I think overall I cared about that relationship and Almine's bad side compared to Murray Sakibara. I didn't feel quite as connected to Murray Sakibara and Himuro and just Yosten as a whole. Like, they're just like a team that is there for me. I loved the action and like the actual basketball stuff that happened during Yosen. I thought was a really strong part, but I thought that the character chemistry and relationship development was less impressive there than it was in Toho, and Toho also had like really amazing basketball. So I thought Toho encompassed everything that Kuroko no Basket does really, really well. And so that would be why I would pick that one for sure.
I think part of that also comes from the fact as well that with the Toho match, you get a lot more kind of exposition for Aomine, like way before that match kicks off. You see Aomine throughout the series, and then the match happens, and then of course you've got the match leading into the second match. Whereas for the Yosen match, that kind of backgrounding and exposition is from Kagami and his brother's side of things. So you see Murasaki Bara pop up from time to time, but he doesn't really do anything apart from in that first match at the start of the season. But other than that, you only really see the development between like Kagami and Alex and the other guy.
Himuro?
Himuro, that's it. And that's I feel like if there had been more Murasaki Bara instead of him, then I probably would have had a lot more investment going into that.
Yeah.
But then again, there's also the fact that Murasaki Bara's character, would he really even do anything that would warrant that? Because he just can't be asked. Because he hates basketball.
Yeah. And they do talk about how Kuroko and Murasaki Bara actually really like each other. They just disagree on basketball. But like in terms of like being friends, they're actually just like, yeah, no, we like each other. But they can't stand the way that one another looks at basketball. And so that was something that I wish they would have gone into a little bit more with Murasaki Bara. I think Murasaki Bara and Himuro and Yosen wasn't given as much development, if that makes sense, for us to
It's
care
like
about the development that
when-
happened in the match.
When it goes into the match that involves Akashi, that is going to be like... There's going to be so much going into that just because you see him constantly. He's always there, always watching. Some stuff is always going on with him. When it gets to that match, it's going to be like... Tension is going to be high because, like, what is this guy capable of? He is, like, the best of the best. And, you know... Considering some of the shit that we've seen in this past 2 seasons, what could he possibly do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously you know, but...
I know. What? I don't know.
He's got a weird eye, that's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of like there.
Yeah.
He's actually the worst player out of all of them. He actually can't do anything.
My power
Just a
is...
bench warmer.
My power is my team are really, really good.
Yeah. They saw my eyes and they were just like, oh shit, he's gotta be one of us.
It's just
Yeah,
they
no,
needed a red one. They were like, well, we can't be the Power Rangers without a red one. Let's just bring this guy in.
his like maroon colored hair.
He's like,
Pink.
oh, I played NBA Jam on the SNES once. Yeah, you're in.
Done.
Mm.
Yeah. So.
This last week we were saying, oh, this one probably won't be a very long stream because we've already talked about the characters and all that kind of stuff, and we're at like nearly 2 hours.
Oh my god!
This is already the second longest episode now.
It's ridiculous.
It's because I talk so much. I have too many.
It's just because we're all just like, oh, Kuroko, so good.
It's about the updated animation in passing, so we can skip over that again. But the openings were banging. Like the first opening was easily my favourite before.
Shout out to the Grand Rodeo once again.
I want to talk about
who does oh sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll wait. Go on.
I was gonna say the guy who Himuru's voice actor is the lead singer of Grand Rodeo, who does all of the openings. And then Tako's voice actor does the ending songs.
That makes sense.
He's Makoto from Free, and also the lead singer of Old Codex, who I love. They're like one of my favorite bands. So they apparently did an ending to one of the bits in season 1, which I do
really like it when I do really like it when anime keeps the same bands for their openings and like endings, because even though they're different songs, it does keep that kind of similar style. And I appreciate that in my mind. Yeah, it keeps that familiarity whilst like mixing things up, which is always cool and appreciated.
Yeah. I love the first opening of season 2 is my favorite. It's one of my favorite anime openings of all time because not only is the music rocking, but the animation is super cool. Like
some of the stuff
it's one of the first things you see going into season 2, and you're just like immediately, instantaneously hyped and so excited. Like you have watching them play the basketball, and then you have Kuroko's Ignite Pass. Like at the end, you get to see Akashi and Murasaki Bara's aura going all crazy. Like it was just a really, really well done opening from start to finish, and then the song is just so catchy and hype. It was the only opening for Kuroko where every single episode I like didn't skip it. Like I love the other openings, except for I didn't like the season 2 second opening. I didn't really like that one very much, but like I just couldn't skip the first one. It was so hype. Perfect.
There's a really bit of cute animation in it as well, where Kuroko's like stood in front of the crowd and he just raised his fist like that, and everyone like stands up, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Oh, it's Kuroko.
And then you have the profile of Saren like doing the fist bumps and then getting hyped and then walking forward on the court with all the lights behind them.
Yeah.
I just love that so much.
It made me sad that I had to skip the openings the majority of the time. Had I not done that, this stream would have started way later than it was billed. But yeah, so I feel like I missed out a lot when it came to like the openings and the endings. I might have to just go back and watch them again.
Watch them now.
Plug DJ, man.
Now in Plug DJ, yeah.
Right. No, not right.
But shout outs to Old Codex for doing that walk song. It was real good. I liked it a lot, and I didn't skip the ending because I really like that song. It's a good song.
And Kuroko's VA sang the second ending song for season 2.
I skipped that all the time because it was just like, I gotta find out what happened.
Yeah, he did the ending song for the second ending. Yeah.
Someone put that on and plug DJ, please. Thanks.
Yeah, mate. So
yeah, but I thought that because the music for season 2 was different. I don't know if there was a different composer or something, but it was different than the standard music from season.
It felt drastically different in genre. Yeah. It was a lot more. It felt like a lot more was on the line because the season 1 opening was just kind of like this blood pumping adrenaline, very sort of electronics, like rocky kind of stuff, and then it sort of brings in this really sort of looming orchestral stuff in season 2 that sort of makes it feel like this is real now. Like it just feels a lot more serious by comparison.
Yeah, the music felt like it had matured a little bit. Like I still really liked the music, especially during the speeches. Like we had that like orchestra speech music that happened that just kind of pumped you up even more. So I really liked the music in both seasons. I don't know if I prefer one over the other or not, but it definitely felt like the season 2 had different, more on the line, like you said.
I think they're both more fitting to the situations because I mean it's sort of like the season 1's OST was leading you into things, it was getting you built up, and this is like things were more on the line. You sort of had like it's Kiyoshi's final stand and everything, and it's kind of everything felt like it had more weight to it, and then the music reflected that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
So, we've reached the end of the season.
Final thoughts, I
Shall
guess.
we move on to final farts?
Final farts.
Let's start with you, Ebby, because I picked on you at the start of the stream. So, what are your final?
It's not going. It's not
Is
going.
it not
in
going
alphabetical
normal order
this time.
anymore?
Nah, man, we're changing it up.
We change it. I don't know. I don't normally start these things, do I?
We're changing formation. We're changing. I'll go first. I don't mind. I really liked it. Really like Kuroko season 2. If you can't guess, and I'm sorry that it took me this long to watch all of Kuroko, because people have been telling me to watch this show for about a year now, and I finally did it. So I hope you're happy.
Soup's
Abby, watch Kuroko. Oh wait,
I
sorry.
already did. What do I do? Do I watch it
Season
again?
3. Season 3.
Now watch Ippo.
Yes.
No, I feel like what I'm gonna do next is go read the Kuroko manga.
Do it,
I
and
think
then
it's
come talk
happening.
to me about it. Come talk to me about
I
it.
feel like it's gonna happen. So yeah, I said last week that I really wanted it to improve every time I watched it. So like last week got an 8. I wanted this week to be a 9, and then I want season 3 to be a 10. It's working out so far, so I'm giving this a 9 out of 10.
Boosh.
Woo!
Also, please bring this over to the West, someone, like anyone. I don't know.
Please. Please.
Please.
And anyone in the chat, if you work for company, if there's any people from Production IG in the chat, you talk to like.
I was gonna say, can somebody talk to Animatsu and get them
Yeah,
to be like,
and be like,
instead
can you
of
license something that's not shit?
yeah, can you just like replace Blade and Soul with Kuroko, please?
Please. Yeah, I don't understand why really crappy series like get dubs or like get licensed.
It's because they don't fucking cost anything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like they're like
Yeah.
£3 for £1, and this one's like a £5.
That's
It's like, oh, just get
That's
the
I
Yeah.
can't justify that. Go on, Alan, you're up.
Oh,
so
Kuroko.
Changey.
I wasn't expecting the show to be as good as it was, because I didn't have anyone telling me that season 2 was amazing. I just watched it and experienced it for myself. And for it to have taken the step up that it did, I really was not ready for it. It took everything that happened in season 1, built on it, tied up loose ends that were there, like filled in gaps, and then just started foreshadowing for what's to come from here on. It just completely and utterly blew everything out of proportion. Like any sort of semblance of like reality is gone at this point, because like some people think that's a bad thing. Some people watch Kuroko and they say, I don't like it because it's not realistic, and to them I say, shut up, Suin.
It got so personal at the end.
Same score as Evie, 9 out of 10, and I can't see season 3 getting a 10 from me. I don't know, but it's season 2 of Kuroko is my second favorite sports anime
After
So-
Ippo, right?
after it,
After it,
because
yeah.
By the way,
Ippo
people who
is
keep
just
suggesting
unchallenged.
Ippo, people keep suggesting Ippo for club. We can't do it, so
we could do
please ask.
if Ebby, if you go away and you watch Ippo seasons 1 and 2, we could do season 3.
That's because that's all we get.
Wait.
On,
Is
Crunchyroll.
that the season
on
3
English Crunchyroll, that's all we get.
Yeah,
Randomly
9 out.
season 3.
Very, very, very solid and aggressively popping off. 9 out of 10.
So for me,
Honky.
yeah, for me, season 2 of Kuroko took everything that was good about season 1 of Kuroko and then slam dunked it, and then just kind of made it took everything, just
Meteor
made
jammed it.
crazy good. Yeah, yes, yeah, Meteor jammed it into just it. Oh, it's so good. I just normally when if I got up this morning and went, oh, you know what? I've got to spend all day watching Kuroko. I can literally do nothing else. I have to get up and watch all of Kuroko, because I literally watched like 2 episodes before this morning. It was all I had a chance to watch, and I kind of woke up and felt like the one problem with doing these shows for club, if I get to that point, is it does feel like a little bit of a chore sometimes, because I've got a deadline. It's like I have to have watched all of this show by 9 o'clock, so my day literally has to be planned around watching this show to the minute, which is why it kind of ended up going a bit late, because stuff happened, i.e. Crunchyroll shitting itself. But yeah, just this season in particular completely blew my expectations out of the water, because like I say at the start, my expectations were high and then got a little bit deflated. So I kind of had that same feeling of, oh, is it going to be more of the same? And then it was like, no, it's not. This is what people have been talking about. And in that respect, I'm glad that season 1 was the way it was, because I felt like I got the same sort of feeling, or at least a similar one, to people who were watching it for the first time, because my impressions had already been deflated. For that reason, I'm going to do something a bit strange. I want to retroactively change my score for season 1 to a 7, so I can make this one a 9 and have it be more of a big deal.
Just make this on a 10, special cam rating it.
No, I'm not. No, I can't special cam rating it because I don't know what season 3 will do. It's
I
like,
did that with
retroactively, season 1 was a 4. Season 2 was an 8.
I'll never do that
is
again.
A 66.
Anyway, yeah. So
I did. It's all right. I did that with 3, where I was like, season 1 gets a 10, and then I'm like, oh, Eternal Summer was way better, but it still only gets a 10. Like, I can't make it any bigger.
Yeah. So that it's just for that reasoning, because I can't justify it, because season 1 I don't feel was enough to only be 1 point away from season 2, but season 2 isn't quite there to be a 10 for me.
Because there's bigger gaps. There's high 9 and low 7 and low 8, which is like almost a gap of 2.
Yeah, but I break.
Yeah, but we don't work like this.
Yeah,
on
but I'm the guy who gave Hero Man a 10, so you know.
Yeah, and everyone should give Hero Man a 10.
Well, everyone should.
Except me, apparently.
I was
I
gonna
gave it
say
a 9.
you didn't, so chuck.
I gave it an 8.
But yeah, so that's what I've done. I'm sticking with it now. We'll just have to see what season 3 brings, and I am extremely excited. Normally, when like there are other seasons of shows that we watch for this, I'm either bothered or I'm not. More often than not, I'm not, because I'm terrible at watching anime. But I'm really excited for Kuroko season 3. I cannot wait.
I just want to, before Erin starts, I want to interject and just say from I just got a reminder of something I wanted to bring up from when we said Meteor Jam. Did anyone else find it hilarious how many times they said jam it in there?
Yes.
Jam it in. Yeah, he jammed it in
Jam
there.
it in.
Jam it in. Go on, Kagami, jam it in.
Oh my god. It was
To which point I brought up that panel from that Fate Stay Night dude, Jin.
I know the one. Jam it in.
Jam it in.
Anyway,
Go on,
Erin,
Erin.
take it away, Kuro Queen.
I am going to give, because I agree with everything that you guys said. Season 2 is a huge step up from season 1. I thought it expanded on every single thing that Kuroko season 1 did really good and amplified it like times 100%. It had better animation, which meant it had more action, which was like way easier to lose yourself in because it was that much more intense. And then it had really great development of characters and characters' relationships, and it also gave us closure on a lot of things that season 1 started, and so we got a lot more closure here. I thought that like it had its weak points, specifically with like the Murasaki Bara match with Himuro. So like some of that was kind of iffy for me, but overall it was just such a fantastic, fun experience of not just like a sports anime, just an anime in general. It's like you're so invested in these characters and you're so invested in the games and what happens that you just lose yourself in it. And like having an anime it's that much more of an experience is just really awesome to me. And I loved the music. I loved the characters so much. I love this franchise in general. And so I'm going to give it a 9 as well, because I just think it's an absolutely fantastic, like, even if like you don't think that the real, like, if you get mad about it not being realistic, like, it's not trying to be realistic. Like, it's just having so much fun with it.
It's not there to be realistic, it's there to entertain you.
Yeah, it's not there. Yeah, exactly. And like the fact that it has that while also having all of this substance with fantastic personalities and characters is really, really impressive and important to me, because the writing is really good too. And so it just has all the qualities that make me love an anime, and I think it's fantastic. So Kuroko no Basket is my favorite thing in the world.
Oh!
So 2 weeks in a row, we've had all 4 of us giving them the same rating. Never happened before. Have we had? Like...
I would like to point out, first of all, congratulations. This is now our longest podcast. It's not last week's. It's this one.
I think this is also our highest rated show.
Highest rated show.
Yeah.
Really? What?
36 out of 40.
Kuroko no Basket.
It deserves
This is going to be hard to topple, this one.
It's alright, we're doing Build Fighters Try Something.
It's like the only show ever that Alan gives a 10. It's going to get a special Alan rating.
So
Spoilers.
that's
He'll be like, it's your
it,
fault.
I guess. It's been fun, but we should wrap up this.
we should
because-
wrap up and have a party. A party
So,
that I can go
First
to.
of all, next time we're not here for like 3 weeks now. But
Because,
next time we
it's
are going to be
Cannon
watching.
House.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
You can blame him. But next time we will be here on February 28th to talk about Terraformars with no guest because Cam's going to talk
I'm the guest. I am the guest.
for like
Yes,
forever
I am-
because this is
I
his
am the
pick.
guest.
I am hype as shit for Terraformers. Oh my
And
god.
I'm just like, I don't want to watch.
I've held off watching it. Like I watched like the first 3 episodes, but I was held off when we kind of confirmed that we were doing it for club so soon. I will like word of warning going in. I think it's still the case on Crunchyroll that only the first 3 episodes are uncensored, and the censorship is pretty terrible. I know that going in. Try not to judge it too much based on that because everyone knows about it. It's already a big deal. It's not Terraformers' fault. It's whoever went crazy in MS Paint with the circle tool.
So we'll be doing
So
that
sad.
in 3 weeks' time. And of course, as always, we will be hanging out in Plug DJ afterwards. So you can go to plug.dj/otakukato, I believe. Is that the right link? I don't even know anymore.
I'll be
Yes.
there
Okay.
for a change if anyone cares.
Cam will be there.
I'm gonna
We'll
be
watch
there 'cause I haven't
Kuroko
got work
AMVs
tomorrow.
together. It's gonna be great. It'll be
Is
like
that what
last
you guys
week because
do?
it was just Kuroko
Yeah, it's what we
AMVs
do.
last week. So
I can hang out for a little bit, so I'm excited
Awesome.
too.
Yay.
To be able to hang out
Let's
for
do that.
20 minutes.
So obviously, Erin, thank you
Yes.
a bajillion
Yeah.
zillion for joining us again.
course.
2
And
weeks in a row. That's mental.
you are
I hope you'll join
contractually
us for season
obliged.
3.
Like it's set in stone already. You're not allowed to say no. I'm sorry. You're coming back.
You're coming back for season 3. What else could
I
we
And
do?
then,
Yes.
then we'll make that the longest podcast we've ever done.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll make that one 3 hours.
Let's go
Oh
for 3
my
hours,
God.
yeah.
I will talk about Kuroko anytime you guys need me to talk Kuroko. I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on to just gush and barf feelings with you guys. I
It
love
was
it.
awesome. It was a lot of
So
fun.
Anyway.
Excellent. Right.
I'm
I'm going to stop the stream now.
Yeah. One other thing before we go. Anyone who is joining us on Plug DJ, that's cool. But Tristan is also streaming right now. He's doing his 6-year live stream. If anyone wants to convert over to that stream.
Woo!
Good plan. I'm gonna end the stream now then, so people can do that if they want to. I feel it's only prudent to finish off by putting Rico back. This is either going to be Rico or Kakyo in dancing. No, it's Rico. There we go. Yeah,
Yay!
Rico Repulsor. Bye everyone. Love you.
Bye bye.